Well, I'm packing up my game and I'ma head out west, where real women come equipped with scripts and fake breasts. Find a nest in the hills, chill like Flint. Buy an old drop top, find a spot to pimp. Then I'm a kid, rock it up and down your block, go with a bottle of scotch and watch lots of crotch. Buy a yacht with a flag saying chillin' the most, then rock that bitch up and down the coast. Give a toast to the sun, drink with the stars, get thrown in the mix and tossed out of bars. Sip the Tijuana, I wanna roam, find Motown, telling fools to come back home. Start an escort service for all the right reasons, and set up shop at the top of Four Seasons. Kid rockin', I'm the real McCoy, and I'm headed out west, sucker, because I wanna be a cowboy, baby,
with a top left back and the sunshine shining.
Cowboy, baby,
West Coast chillin' with the moon's wide.
be a cowboy, baby,
Riding at night 'cause I sleep all day.
cowboy, baby.
I can smell a pig from a mile away.
Expected Trump charging into a goblin's nest to not get some goblin vomit and slop and blood on him. I just don't want to catch him in bed with a goblin. But if he's in there rolling around hacking him up and he's got a goblin guide, you know, taking him into the cave, I'm not expecting him to not get dirty, especially up to his ankles. I don't want to see him kissing goblins, having political succubus with goblins. I don't want to see him ingratiating goblins. We made the joke that once he gets into office, it's one thing if he has some establishment folks to guide him through the mines of Moria, to use the Lord of the Rings analogy. If you're not a J.R.R. Tolkien fan, you won't know what I'm talking about, but I think most people are from the movies. It's one thing if he has a guide that's kind of a bad guy to take him through the mines of Moria or under the mountain. But if you catch him kissing goblins, or if you catch him
from the broken down, low-rent, sleazy, double greasy pirate radio nut hunt studios, it's time for the very first ever Southern...
It's Friday night. My name is Jimmy, and the microcosm is on the app. Well, it's been an unbelievable week, and we're having problems with this situation. So I don't know if I need to call myself Rio and then call you guys back, or I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Hold on, I'll hang up and give you a call back.
Epic Journeyman. Are you that?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Excellent. Yes, I can. Hang on. Alright. I think I got everything squared away. We will soon find out. Look, hang on a second, dude. All right, Rocky Rio, are you there?
Yeah,
All right.
I can hear everything now.
Oh, good. That sounds good. Well, that means everybody on Revolution Radio can hear it. Hey. This is the microcosm. I'm glad I didn't use all my best shit for the beginning of this show. I'm glad I saved it for later. All right. Welcome into the microcosm. Friday nights, Revolution Radio. Come on down. Become supporters. Free speech is such an important part of our democratic republic. And without it, you got nothing. So come on down, become a supporter. You know you want to. You've thought about it. Maybe tonight's the night you're going to actually walk over there and
For a fool.
step up to the guitar case and throw a bone in there. Keep this thing on the air. Mine's Jimmy. Look, what a wild week. Epic Journeyman's here. Rockin' Rio's here. Apparently we are now on the air. Everywhere.
Yes, we are.
Okay, good. So what's happening, man? Obviously, there's an elephant in the room, obviously, but don't jump right into this elephant in the room because hang on a second.
Are you talking about the golden toad and the electric frog?
Yeah, I'm definitely talking about the golden toad, for sure. Let's go there, but not quite yet.
Of course.
I have a quick. I was getting ready for the show, and I'm over in my laundry area. I'm taking my clothes out of the dryer.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, I hear this rattling, crackling noise. And I look over by the studio area, and there's a fucking raccoon on the back of my chair with my weed in his hand.
Oh, no, really?
I swear to God. And so I see him, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I came over here, and he left. He ran off and dived through a hole in a fence and went underneath.
Did he take your bag with him?
I looked everywhere for my weed, and it wasn't there. It's like, at first I didn't know he took my weed, but I came back here, and I'm looking around for my weed, and I was like, what the fuck? This raccoon just stole my weed. So I was looking all around for it. I didn't see it anywhere, and I was about to give up, go downstairs and get my vape. And then I thought to myself, you know what, maybe I'll look just behind here, maybe he dropped it. And sure enough, he did. He fucking dropped it. But it's a good thing that he did. Otherwise, I don't know.
You don't like to be violent to animals, but
No.
you would have been, wouldn't you?
I love animals. I don't hurt them. But,
But that raccoon was in some serious danger, wasn't he?
he was in some danger. And now he came back 3 times since I've been sitting here. So I had to go there and do this whole thing and build this whole apparatus so he couldn't get through. Then the fucker started climbing up the side of my shed and going up on the roof.
You must have something in there that he wants. Probably more than weed. Like,
Nah,
maybe
there's
he smells like cheeseburgers. or
No,
something.
there's nothing. I don't eat out here. I learned my lesson the hard way. All right, listen. So we're here, and it is the week of the big breakup. Now, before we get into it, let's remind people. Don't forget about My Pillow guy. Remember him?
You don't remember me, but I remember you. 'Twas not so long ago, you broke my heart in two. Tears on my pillow, pain in my
Is Elon Musk the new My Pillow guy?
I don't know, because the My Pillow, they destroyed the My Pillow guy.
I know.
Yeah, they destroyed his businesses. They took him down a notch. And the funny thing is that upon checking deeper into the My Pillow guy, he was a straight up dude.
I know.
You know?
I know. Well, so I look at, man, there's a lot to get into as far as.
I would trust My Pillow Mike way more than I would trust Elon Musk.
Well, Epic Journeyman, are you there? I don't hear you, so I don't know if you're there. You haven't said anything yet.
Well, he's muted.
Oh.
So I don't know if he knows he's muted.
Maybe not. He's probably been saying shit for the last 5 minutes.
But rambling on, man. You know what I'm talking about? The Rasta Raccoon, man, is coming for you. Wee!
I know. He almost got it, man. He literally almost got my weed. All right, that'd be hard for a Friday night, especially tonight. I mean, there's been visible evidence, I think, that the timeline has shifted, and we'll get into some of that a little bit later. We're going to be joining Ground Zero Plus at 10:30 p.m. after Ground Zero Beyond Ground Zero tonight. So we'll save some of this other stuff for later. We might have to come back and talk about some of this, too, because, people ain't here. But in any event, tears on my pillow, eh? So here, Epic Journeyman. Now, is this another contractor? Do you think that Trump fucked with the wrong contractor this time? I mean, there's been talk that he has, stiffed contractors in the past. Do you think maybe this contract?
A lot of talk. That's why I hate him from the get-go. He's a con man, right? I mean, I was a little kid. He ripped off my friend's parents, right? So I've always known him as a con man before I knew him as a politician or a celebrity. He had this con man from New York that ripped everybody off.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's always he's always been that to me. So it's not surprising that he would do something like that. But at the same time, when it comes to Elon Musk and this whole thing, I can't help but think it's all staged, because the reason I think that is because Ambassador Sondland, who was a guy grabbed from the business sector to be the UN ambassador, right? Not UN ambassador, European Union ambassador. Like overall, the whole thing. It was just some guy, right? Who, donated $1 million to Trump and he got the job. And he ended up turning on Trump a little bit during the first impeachment, saying, "Yeah, of course, it's quid pro quo," right? People might recall that. But he came back on board. He's been a supporter ever since. He's back in the administration now. And what he said was, going in right before the inauguration, he goes, "Are you ready for the Trump show? I'm ready for the Trump show. It's going to be great. Enjoy the show," right? And I can't help but think that this is like a reality TV show script. Like they're all getting something out of this. And the idea is just keep us all engaged.
Yeah,
the engagement is the main thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, somebody's going to get something out of it, all right. Because, this whole hooking up with Palantir thing last week we talked about.
Right, they're distracting from that. That's what this whole thing was about, distracting from that. I absolutely thought that was what it was. Because the New York Times wrote an article about it, right? About Palantir.
Here's the other thing.
And then it got knocked off the radar because of this.
Here's the other thing, man. I'm gonna ring this bell. Listen, I haven't talked about Trump. Trump's been around for 8 years. We've fucking gone over this material a million times. But let me refresh your memory about Trump real quick. Okay? When he was in New York building buildings and doing shit before he was president, okay, that dude was a Democrat. Okay? You don't do union construction in New York. All the unions are Democrats. Okay? Go look at the pictures of his daughter with the Clinton's daughter at her wedding. Okay? He was put in there originally to make all the Republican candidates look bad by the shit that he said in the election coming up in the debates. He was never planning on being president. He was put there to make Jeb Bush and all those fools look like idiots and say a bunch of stuff. He was going to go do a reality TV show after that. He was not planning on being president, but somehow everybody resonated with what he had to say. So here he is now. Here he is. And so now what are they saying about him now? They're saying, oh, he's a Democrat. Look at this big, beautiful bill. They're calling him a Democrat now. And now Elon Musk is coming out against him because he's saying he came in here to cut, waste and do all this shit. And now here he comes throwing this bill out there. And for some reason, that spawns Elon Musk to put out this fucking tweet that says, that makes a very harsh accusation towards someone. And so that accusation has sparked the whole thing. Okay, so Trump gave him back his car, and he doesn't want to talk to him, and all this. But, the thing about it is first of all, that's a very serious accusation to make in public forum that it was made in. Secondly, so people are coming forward now and they're saying, oh, well, obviously if they had anything, the Biden administration would have used it against Trump while he was running for president. So there's nothing there. So this Epstein's attorney has come out and said, quote, unequivocally, not on that list, Trump. Now,
I gotta laugh. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, the thing is, what I want to say is, okay, so meanwhile, simultaneously to all this, the Diddy trial's going on, which is Diddy trial's just nothing but a fucking franchise of the fucking Epstein operation. It's just for hip, young people and people of color. It's a whole other operation. So...
Same thing, yeah.
Right. So, do you think Elon Musk has ever hung out with Diddy? You think Elon Musk's ever been a party at Diddy's house? You think Elon Musk
Probably.
might be in that whole Diddy shit? Well, I would say Elon Musk might even be more in danger of being on the Epstein list than Trump.
Well, no, he's not more dangerous because Trump is on the Epstein list. I mean, he's been on the Epstein list for years. We've all known that, right? I mean, that's the thing. He's with Anton Khashoggi. He was a mentor of Jeffrey Epstein, who brought him on along with Ghislaine Maxwell and Robert Maxwell. They're all in the human trafficking thing to get those contracts back in the day. This is where it all comes from, right? I mean, everybody should know this by now. It's not a secret. That's where Roger Stone, and Manafort and all those guys come in. The lobbying company goes way back. It goes back to the Reagan administration. It goes back to their first lobbying firm when they were after Trump bought the yacht in Abila and brought it into New Jersey. Right? They made him the lobbying firm. Their first contract was to lobby to make the Port Authority dredge the harbor so that the former Nabila, Adnan Khashoggi's human trafficking yacht, could park in New Jersey. I mean, that's how far back it goes, man. And the fact that it's just now like, oh, it's a surprise. No, it's been there the whole time. Any of us have been researching this for this time at all know about this. And as far as like his name being on a list, that was in the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. It's in the transcripts. It's been there forever. It's just because people are in their information silos and they don't get that information if they're listening to whatever favored outlet they're listening to.
Yeah,
that may favor their political mindset. They don't get that information, right? And now all of a sudden Elon Musk says it. Like, it's been on X the entire time and Twitter before that and everywhere else. All this information's been there.
Man,
it's been available.
Let me ask you guys a question. Let's break this shit down. Look, okay, Elon Musk, he comes up with a black eye a couple of days ago, right? So Trump's all of a sudden,
the Treasury guy hit him in the face.
So all of a sudden, but here's the thing: all of a sudden, Trump starts to cool off on the whole Iranian war situation. He starts to cool off. He starts cutting deals over there. He comes back. 2 weeks later? What is it? 2 weeks, or how long has it been since he went there? How long has it been since this whole Iranian thing has cooled off? How long? Well, all of a sudden, yeah, right. Yeah. I know. Well, it definitely hasn't now, right? So things are getting ready to blow now. It's the same group of people are going to be involved in this other Iranian thing. If that goes off, the same group of people are involved in the Ukrainian war. And so obviously we saw a attack, a drone attack. Now, Epic Journeyman, you reminded me that we had talked about this in 2020. Now, why don't you break it off? What exactly happened with these with these drones? Now, it was a container with a removable roof that just opened up and they came out with.
Yeah. Exactly. And so Operation Spiderweb, they call it Operation Web, actually. They put it in Spiderweb. The thing about it is that I think is so fascinating is in 2020, in the heat of the pandemic, right, we were talking about all those supply line disruptions where the tankers were offshore outside of especially Los Angeles.
Yeah,
right?
there was
Long
like
Beach.
there was like a glut of tankers.
Yeah,
there.
hundreds and hundreds, not thousands, just offshore, right? They couldn't come in, they couldn't offload them because of all the restrictions. There's all this stuff going on. There's disrupting the supply chain, which led into that's what lost the election for Biden, because not just Biden, but I mean, it's in general, it lost the election for whoever's in charge is going to lose because, inflation went up and supply chains were disrupted and all that stuff because of this whole, thing. But the bottom line was all these things were offshore, and that's integral to what we're talking about. So the thing was, when we're looking at that, you and I both said on the air, right, at the time, hey, man, what's to keep China, because they're the main drone makers at the time and still are, right? How about a bunch of tankers full of container ships and containers full of drones just open the tops off and flying them in and bombing stuff? Not a goddamn thing, man. Nothing. And it's still that way today. And when we said that, I'm not saying that they got the idea in Ukraine from that.
No.
Other people probably had the idea, of course, the whole time. But what they did was fascinating, man. They went and said, you know what? We're going to take a year and a half to set up. What they did was, Ukrainians were brilliant about this. They set up a legitimate business inside Russia. They assembled the drones in Russia, right? They shipped some over, but they assembled a lot of them in Russia.
Uh-huh.
They had a shipping company. They were shipping, prefab houses to people all over the country, right?
Yeah.
And they had their contractors come and pick them up and send them out. But a certain number of those had 40 drones per, right, inside them. And they sent them out, and they just told them, hey, park here and wait for the next guy to relieve you or whatever, right? And they happened to be, a mile away or less from these air bases. And they took control, popped open the tops, and flew those drones in and destroyed all, billions of dollars worth of bombers. A brilliant, brilliant attack. It's like, it is Pearl Harbor. People debate about how close it is to Pearl Harbor. It's as good as Pearl Harbor. It really is. It's such good justice, too, because it's directly targeted to the very planes who are sending cruise missiles to Ukraine, right? So by disabling that bomber branch, they're actually saving themselves from that much more bombing that would have been being done to them by those very bombers who are launching the air-launched cruise missiles towards their country. So it's a fantastic and well-achieved and well-thought-out plan and a spectacular victory for them, in that case for Ukraine. But at the same time, it makes me think back to when you have no cards. And he just kept this poker face the entire time, because you think about it, it was a year and a half in the operations. Zelensky knew the entire time he had those cards. That was coming. He knew the entire time. Did not reveal it, did not kept the poker face the entire time.
What's all this talk about? Everybody's saying it's this, it's like common knowledge. It's the three-lettered agents. They couldn't have done it themselves. This and that. It was done by other people. Russia's pissed off. Russia says if anything happens to their cities, they're going to hit our cities now.
Well, they're going to say that all the time, because if they do, they're Russians. Hey, man, my best friend's Russian. I was almost married to Russian. I dated a Ukrainian, Russian girl who's actually Hungarian. Complicated story for 20 years. So, hey, man, I know the story, but the thing is, it's like, I've been there, so it's not like, a lot of my good friends are Russian. So it's not that the people are bad people, but the government is bad. The government is absolutely corrupt and terrible. And it all goes back to philosophy, and the philosophy is that of Alexander Dugin. And Alexander Dugin is Putin's Rasputin. He eggs him on. If that bomb that killed his daughter would have hit him instead, this war would have been over already. It's that simple. It really is, because he thinks he's going to be the emperor, Putin. Putin thinks he's the emperor of the new Russia to, regain the greatness of the old Russian Empire. Catherine the Great. He wrote it up in an article. He wrote this whole thing, this whole thesis, like 2 or 3 years ago now. Well, actually more than that, I guess, because war's been going on. So I think it was 2021 or something. He wrote this thing and published it. It is his desire, right? And who's the guy backing him the entire time? It's Alexander Dugin, because it's this whole philosophy of the sea people representing commerce in the West and Europe against the people of the land and the motherland being Russia, Mother Russia, right? And this is he's written a book about it. You know, I mean, it's a whole thing.
It's you know, it's more and more. I mean, like I say, I guess the peace talks are over then, eh?
Yeah, I think so. Well,
there's a definite clue.
I thought Ukraine said something today, and it kind of slipped in the news because of all the other stuff going on. But I thought it was really interesting because they said that the Ukrainians said they're going to attack other assets of Russia, even at sea, like in the Mid-Atlantic. Well, you know, I'm a Navy guy, right? Ex-Navy guy, and I'm a submarine guy, and I'm thinking, well, how would they even achieve something like that? They don't have the air power to do that. They don't have the Navy to do that. They don't have a Navy, right? They're stuck in the Black Sea. So how could they intercept Atlantic vessels or something like that? And it occurred to me that what they did is they were one of the people, Ukrainians were involved in the development of the submarine called the Manta.
Mm-hmm.
In United Arab Emirates is the other country involved with this development. And what they did was there's this highly maneuverable torpedo carrying craft that looks like the flying submarine from back in Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea days, right? And it goes so many miles on electric power and goes on the surface and travels like a regular boat and carry like, I think, basically a SEAL team, like 14 people, more than a SEAL team. SEAL teams, not that many, but 14 people at a time and transport troops and all this stuff. What if they're planning something like that? What if they're planning to be like the U-boats, the modern U-boats? What if they're going to disrupt Russian shipping lines? Because that is how you win the war, isn't it? If you disrupt Russia's economy and start sinking their tankers in the Mid-Atlantic, it's over, right? They win. They absolutely win.
Well,
if that oil can't get anywhere, they win. So I think that was an interesting thing to put out there today. It may be a ruse because it could be there. And I absolutely think as an intelligence analyst kind of personality thinking this way. I'm not saying I'm an intelligence analyst right now, obviously at all. I'm just saying as that kind of mindset, I'd say, well, they might just be trying to fake them, pump fake them, right? Basically, okay, hey, we got this other thing in the pipeline, right? Just to make them think twice about it, right? That might be all it is, and it probably is. But what if it is the Manta submarine? And what if the Manta submarine is going to be transported overland into these other waterways and get into the Caspian Sea and take out the things coming from Iran? What if it's going to get out there and it's going to start taking out these tankers?
I don't know. War.
In the
what is
Baltic?
it? What is it good for? Rock and real. War.
Well, exactly.
War. What
is
it good for?
But more war.
Yeah. It's all too much.
Well, the part I kind of found interesting is that Elon Musk is now in the Black Eye Club, right?
I know, and I looked at that too. And one of the things I noticed right off the bat is it's on the wrong side to most of the other people that are in the Black Eye Club.
Well, it's usually the left eye.
Yeah.
That gets punched.
Left eye Lopez. Yeah.
Yeah, Kerry.
You got to look who's left-handed in the administration, right? He's supposed to have gotten a fight with what's his name?
Hey, can you turn down? Can you turn down?
Yeah.
You're fucking loud. Excuse the F-bomb, but that blew my ears out. I had to turn up for Rio, and then when you came in, you were loud.
Well, I'm just on auto.
Fucking hell, man.
I'll
go through this all over again.
I'll turn me up a little bit too.
You better turn yourself up quite a bit, because I got to turn all this shit down now.
All right, there we go. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know which eye was it? Was it the left eye or the right eye?
It was his right eye, but everybody else in the Black Eye Club has the left eye, including his mom's got a picture.
Well, not everybody, because there were a few people that had.
Well, go on Google.
I wonder if there's a significance to the left. I mean, obviously there is to the left eye thing, but I wonder if being punched in the right eye has a different meaning.
Well, go on to Google right now. Go over to Google Images and type in Black Eye Club and see what you see. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. You can find it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you can.
So the thing is what I kind of want to focus on though is, and let's just say this is real. This battle is real. What's going on? The separation is real because is real because the thing about it is you have all these tech bros that are up in there. So the thing is the big scandal around Trump. You know, I mean, Musk was literally calling for impeachment or whatever. So let's just say, you know, let's walk it out. You know, blah blah blah. Who ends up being president? J.D. Vance, right? Who put J.D. Vance there? Thiel, right? Well, let me ask you a question. You let a tech guy into your shit, like you decide one day you need some help. You decide one day you need some help with something and you need a tech guy to come in there. Once you give him permission to get into your systems, he's in there. Okay? It's like he doesn't have any place. He didn't have any. When Doge was in there, there's no stopping barriers to him. Once
the data is gathered, it's a jackpot like a slot machine, right? It's already a payout. It's already done. The payout's already there.
Well, yeah, right? and once you let a guy like Elon or Thiel or whoever, they have 300.
Your volume his volume is so loud, it's literally unbelievable, man.
Well, I'll just hang up.
Mine or his?
His. I have to turn my headphones down half the volume. I don't know why it is. I'm not sure. This happened once before. I think it was,
I'll have to call him back.
I think it was CAC last time this volume thing was happening. Speaking of CAC, I've asked you 3 times in the chat if you're coming on here, man. If you want to come on, let us know. We'll hook you up. And S90's going to join us too.
Oh, nice.
Not right now, though, and momentarily.
I haven't seen S90, but let me know. I'll add you. So
that whole thing got me. I started thinking, well, what if there's there's total access to everything, and so Musk has had access to everything, so he knows where everything is, as far as the systems are concerned.
Well, so not only him, but everybody that works for him too, right?
Right.
He's got all these top level guys. They all do.
That's right. So now they got everything,
and I'm sure they're tied into Microsoft and the whole Gates thing and everything else.
They would not be. They would not be in there. Okay. Listen. If he just said they signed a deal with Palantir, did they go in there and load Palantir software everywhere? You know what I mean? I mean, the thing I'm just saying. I mean, is there anything?
And it was funny because what was it? I don't know. It was probably 2 or 3 years ago. We talked about the secret side of Palantir. I mean, everybody hears about it now. It's a big thing in the news lately or whatever. Yeah. But we talked about Palantir and their private software that their private spy software that they were building at the time, right? And there was another company that's like right across the street from them that was doing the same thing. I don't remember who that was off the top of my head, but what are they doing with all that data? Are they I mean, obviously they're we know about the sentient world simulation and all the DAI stuff going on, but what are they really doing with that? Or is this the preparation for the control system?
Well, the thing is, man, I'm telling you, it's almost like the fictional story, the 3 chapters that I put up there. Go look at those 3 chapters.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like exactly what I wrote in there. And I mean, the thing is, like I say, J.D. Vance is a heartbeat away from the presidency, man. So,
yeah, and then, even if something doesn't happen to Trump, I mean, he's very likely to run in the next election and be the next guy, right?
Maybe, if there is another election.
Well, I think there will be, but maybe not. Maybe the.
How come you never heard anyone say InQtel anymore?
That was the other one, InQtel. That was what I was thinking of. Palantir and InQtel. That was the show we did.
Look over here, it's Palantir. Look over here, it's Palantir. But over here, InQtel. Shh.
That's what it was. Yeah, there you go.
All right, so you're gonna try to hook up Epic Journeyman again? Bring him.
Yeah, he's back.
Okay, well, let's give it a. Hold on, let me take my headphones off.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
We're going to talk. I'm talking now. All right. So I'm looking at. I see that it's supposed to be.
Very loud.
Yeah. So I have noise suppression supposedly on.
You're really loud. I just turned you completely off. You're loud.
No.
How about speak real softly, Epic?
No, you're way too loud.
I can speak real softly.
No, that is way
Yeah.
too...
Hold on. It's Teams after all. Let's see if we can do something. High fidelity music mode.
Hey, there's Chris France. All right, well, let's not do this on the air, man. This is fucking shit. I'll tell you right now. Every time I get a conversation started, I'm fucking stymied now. I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about. All right, listen. It's a pivotal escalation going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right? There's 6 synchronized layers, each amplifying the others. The feedback loops of surveillance, dependency, and control. The cognitive layer. He who controls the narrative controls the mind. So who's controlling the narrative right now? Because if you're not in control of your mind, somebody else will control it. What's Chris doing? What's Chris talking about?
I don't know.
I don't know. He's telling somebody to piss off.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there a hack? Is there a fight going on over in the chat?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I got.
I
too many
can't
things
see.
going
Yeah, I
on
can't
over
see
here.
the chat from here. Anyways, yeah. So
The audio situation.
there you go.
Yeah, it's better.
Now you're human.
I'm in high fidelity music mode.
Okay, that's what you need to be in.
Yeah, that's
from now
what
on.
you need to be in.
Okay.
All right, now we can get back to the subject at hand. Now, so look, these tech bros are in there. They're a heartbeat away from the presidency. They probably already weaseled their way in. Like I was saying, when Doge went in there, they're dropping, they're loading their software on there. Is there anything that's going on anywhere in any of the agencies that can't be at this point looked at by somebody? I mean, is every single aspect of every single part of the federal government now
No, the whole
under
thing's
surveillance?
gathered together from Palantir now.
And
That's what that was all about. That article in the New York Times yesterday was all about that. I really think this whole blew up with honest to God, I believe this, that the entire blow up with Elon and Trump is just a ruse to take the attention away from what was breaking news about Palantir having all this information on every person in the United States and the world. I really do think that. I think that's what it was.
And they'll kill you.
It's just
They say they will kill you if they have to,
So I never expected Trump charging into a goblin's nest to not get some goblin vomit and slop and blood on him.
When you charge into the goblin's nest, you never know. You might get some blood on you.
You might get some goblin slop on you.
The magnificent golden toad. He just... I know.
Donald Trump really is a magnificent golden toad.
If we could start anew, I wouldn't hesitate. I'd gladly take you back and tempt the hand of fate. Tears on my pillow.
I couldn't resist, man. Tears on his pillow. Who's got the tears on their pillow, though, at this point? Now, so he says he's not gonna use has he gone back on the rocket thing? Is he gonna decommission the Space Dragon or whatever it's called?
nah. He took that back today.
Yeah, he took it back.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that remember he said it's a time for a third party. I think that's what this is, and from his perspective. Never mind the distraction I mentioned earlier, is what this is all about. Because if you recall, his grandfather ran the Technocratic Party, right? Moved to Canada. He ran a Technocratic Party in Canada, and then he moved to South Africa. So the Technocratic Party is something nobody in America now knows about, but they did in the 30s and 40s and 50s, right? And so it's this whole idea of something that's been lying in wait this entire time for a time to spring it back on us, right? This idea of this energy-based management economy. And the idea that the people, here's the main thing, it is literally, metropolis, right? Where the idea of technocracy is only those most skilled people have the decision-making ability over society. Everything else is energy-based managed. So in other words, it's how much energy you put into it, how much energy you get out, right? But the people who make the decisions are these technocrats who are in power eternally,
Well,
right?
you know what? You know
and
what I
untouchables.
You know what I see this whole like dispute thing is, not only I think it's a distraction from something else, but I just see it as a bunch of billionaire boys having a weenie swinging contest.
I don't know. I think the Thiel and Elon Musk started PayPal with this in mind when they were playing D&D together back in the day in the South African savannah or wherever they were, and that they were, you know, they went to Stanford, and you know, Thiel went on and graduated, and Elon dropped out and did other things, and Ackman and all these other guys were there. The South African connection. They you know, they've always been about this apartheid kind of mentality, and the apartheid mentality fits perfectly well with technocracy, right? The idea that it's only the superior intellects and races, the master race, right, that will control everyone else. And then, you know, this way of managing energy consumption throughout the world is the only way that the economy of the world can be sustained. And whether you believe in it or not, it doesn't really matter. They do, right? They do. And now they have.
Rock and Rio, are you there?
I am here.
I think I accidentally muted Epic.
You did.
Can you unmute him?
No.
I'm back. I'm back
there you
now.
go.
But
There you go.
Unmute himself.
Yeah, sorry
yeah, I
about
muted
that.
myself because I was trying to come back. So was I too loud or what? Because I mean, I thought what I was saying was important. If you don't want to hear from me, I'll just leave.
Huh?
I mean,
No,
it's okay. I'm okay with that.
No, he did it accidentally.
There's
Okay.
I'm not. I can't even see these controls on here.
No, because team sucks, man.
I'm
For
looking.
people-
I was trying to hook Cack up. That's what I was trying to do.
Oh, here,
Okay,
I'll
cool,
get
Cat.
Cack. I'll get Cack.
It's good to see you. Yeah, no, it's just this weird thing with. Sorry, people are listening right now, but we're still trying to manage the system, and it's kind of weird, as you can tell. But I do think like this was the idea that, you know, regardless of whether this is staged or not, and it might be on the Trump Elon thing. The idea of it bringing about this third party and it being a technocratic party has been lying in wait this entire time, I think is legitimate. I think that is exactly they've been waiting for an opportunity.
Well,
to spring
he said
this.
what Elon said was he was the new leader of MAGA and he's going to be around for 40 years and Trump's going to be around for 3.5 more years. But it doesn't really matter because there's nothing Elon Musk can't ever be president of the United States. And so,
but it's a global system, right?
But this might be the neo-reactionary party or whatever. You know,
neo-reactionary.
Yeah,
maybe. But I think that the idea of a technocratic party is and it being a globalist party is the end game, because we always talk about the world system and how it's going to be a world economy and a world-based currency and all that stuff, and that is exactly what they're trying to do. And Elon's pushed so hard with this cryptocurrency thing is exactly that, to enable this thing. And if you think about it in terms of they had a party before, but it wasn't ready, it wasn't primed, the technology wasn't there to allow it to happen.
Rio,
and now it is.
Rio at S90. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Cack is here.
Hey, Cack, what's happening? So,
hey, what's up, guys?
What are you thinking now about what's been going on with this whole drama that's been going on this last week? Because there's a lot to here. There's a lot to unpack. I know you saw some of the shit I sent over to you about Peter Thiel and, you know, what's coming up here with this whole tech bro takeover that's been going on that we've been talking about since day one on this administration. I mean, Peter Thiel was on the transition team.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Okay. So what are you thinking, man?
Yeah. He had front row for the inauguration too, right? The indoor inauguration. Remember, his first inauguration was very sparsely attended at the Grand Mall down there in Washington. Nobody showed up for that. Trump 1.0. But yeah, this is definitely political theater. It's an outgrowth of what Zbigniew Brzezinski termed as the technocratic singularity, like decades ago.
Right.
So this is all part of the agenda.
Exactamundo. Yep. The technocratic age is here. And so is S90. Mm-hmm. S90, what's happening?
Sorry, just had to unmute there. No. How is everybody?
Hey, good, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. So
Thanks for having me, Jimmy.
Yes, what do you got going on with this whole thing now? I know I saw you saying something when I said they were loading software in there.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, we could start with that really quickly because there was just a couple comments along the way you mentioned in QTEL as well. That was, I ran into them. Yeah, so with the Palantir, I think it was the last time I was on here, I had an article from Wired magazine about Doge was installing Palantir Foundry software in a lot of these databases, and they described it. We knew that they liked Lord of the Rings metaphors, and essentially they called it the one API to rule them all, which, you know, to a Lord of the Rings fan. Okay, so they're casting Sauron's ring in the Foundry, and they're installing it in all the different branches of government. And it was about a month ago, and the article said they'll be done in 30 days. So I guess here we are with that.
30
and you've
days
got
later.
some, yeah, and you've got some drama llamas spitting at each other. I logged on to X right at, and that Palantir story had exploded everywhere.
Mhm.
And it got to such a fevered pitch at one point when I signed on to X. I scrolled for 9 or 10 pages, and every single post was about Palantir.
Mm-hmm.
And then I woke up that next morning, and the new event had begun. And now you don't see diddly about Palantir anymore, and it's all just which of the two puppets is right. Now, really quick side mention here. You mentioned In-Q-Tel.
Mhm.
They've changed their name to IQT, and that was actually, I seen a presentation. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was a presentation about some, you know, spy tech or whatever, and just in the corner it just said IQT, and I was like, there's no way. And I just Googled it, and I was, oh, sure as shooting, it was them again. So they're still around, up to no good. So keep an eye out for them. They're just called IQT, all capital letters.
Mm-hmm.
And the third thing I wanted to point out here, you're so spot on to bring up the Elon Musk's poll. As soon as he ran that poll, I was really concerned, because he says, is it time for the third party in America that truly represents 80% of the population? Did you see the results of that?
89%, right? Something like that. Yeah.
No, 80.4%. He almost hit it directly on the number. And then he said, oh, wow, it's almost like it's fate. But, you know, we know he's gamed these numbers. He's got access to everyone's metrics. He knows what the answer was going to be ahead of time.
He's got the secret grok, dude. He's got
the secret sauce.
He's got the grok with the 1500 IQ.
And I want to point out that someone in this room right here has already predicted the scenario that could occur from this. Now, we've mentioned, I believe Jimmy said he can't be president. He can puppet master someone as president and start a third party with his money and sort of encouragement and his social capital.
Mm-hmm.
Now, someone here wrote an audio book about 6 minutes long, and it was about just this, about a techno king guy kind of puppeteering a president into place, and this new president was part of the Purple Unity Party, post party synthesis of purple and pink rather than red and blue. Now, who predicted? Oh, that was Jimmy. Yeah, you're listening to his show, and he predicted this quite a while ago in his little audiobook, exactly this development. And when I saw all that happening, and I saw Elon saying, I'm going to start a party. Oh, but he can't be president, but he can puppet. And then I was like, I've listened to this before. Where have I heard this before? Yeah, from old Jimmy right here. So sorry, I ranted on there for a couple minutes, but I really wanted to come on. So
hey, thank you very much for, bringing that up, man. Because, we do that quite often here on the show. I mean, fiction is fiction, but a lot of the best fiction is written from the facts that are right in front of your face, like 6 inches in front of your face. There's inches. There's inches. There's inches everywhere. You got to struggle for that inch. I can't make you do it, Cac.
I can't make you do it, man.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
but no, I mean, no, you're right. It's good. I'm glad to hear from you, man. It's glad to hear you back. And you too, Cac. I think that this is like really this. If you think of it as like a long-term game, and they have. Remember, these people play games together back at Stanford and back in South Africa and all this stuff, and they've planned this entire time. When you look at it coming to fruition, it doesn't matter who's in power. It doesn't matter if it's Trump or whoever. It just happens to be that they got access to the government systems. They got access to all the information they needed, all the data.
This is AI.
Data brokers.
This is AI worldwide governance that's coming into play, man, right now.
Yeah, they got everything they needed.
it's coming into play right now. I mean, we're moments away from whatever it's going to be, and these kind of things make me nervous too, because, from a script perspective or a narrative perspective, when these things happen, this is the wag the dog moments that happen, when something happens to get your attention off. So what happens? What happens?
And
Go ahead.
they've earned themselves, what was it, 10 years of basically unsupervised development of AI, right? Because of the bill that Marjorie Taylor Greene and the rest of them didn't read, or whatever they said, right? So thanks for that, right? So they wouldn't have passed that in the bill unless they were ready to sort of get cracking day one. You know what I mean?
Did you see that in Texas they were using an AI teacher and their class is 2% over the average of the whole United States? I saw a news article earlier today about it. And so that's what everybody's afraid of, is everybody's afraid that the AI is going to be the teacher now. And so, that group of kids that's coming through, let's say you're the first group of kids with an AI teacher. There used to be teachers. Those kids are going to be sitting around going, yeah, when I was a kid, there used to be teachers. This is like I go, when I was a kid, there used to be payphones. Teachers are going to be like payphones, man. You know what I mean? And it's, we're there, man. I mean, look.
I mean, China had started it, right? With the AI newscaster. It looks like a real person. It never messes up. It reads the script perfectly. Been doing that for 8 years now or something like that. Maybe not quite that long, since 2020, I think. But it looks real. It reads the news. It does all its job. It looks perfect and perfectly delivers the information, right? That it's meant to get out to the public. Why would it be any different with teachers? I mean, because teach them when they're young and they'll do it when they're old, right? It's the Bible there, So I think that we're just so unprepared for this. Like the escalation, how fast it develops.
Well, yeah, because the average person that's going to work every day and just eating dinner and watching a little bit of news before they pass out, and all this stuff's going on. And that's the thing about this. A lot of this tech stuff that people don't realize is that once it gets in there, it's in there. It's like once the wireless shit was out there, there's no way you're getting it out. You're never going to get it out. Just grandfathered in. Hey, you should have said something before we did it. Now it's, everybody's using it. We can't get rid of it. What do you expect us to do?
And even for the pro-Trump people who may still be out there listening, think about this. All this stuff that's being installed and all this merging of databases and oversight over all this stuff, just like, yeah, that's great if imagine Trump is actually doing a great job. I'll pretend with you for a second. What happens when the next president gets in, the Democrat, right? That all that system, all these rules about all this, none of that goes away. So then the Democrats will control that amazing system you want to, it was a bad idea no matter which way you slice it.
Well, that's the problem, is once it's in there, that's it. You're not getting rid of it now.
He was the vector for the install. He was the install wizard, is what I described him as a little while ago.
Yeah, you're right. But I'm just, go ahead.
Well, because Musk had he had read and write capability at the Social Security Administration, read and write capability at the Veterans Administration, read and write capability at all these government agencies. So but by the time it was stopped, the damage is already done. That's what I'm saying about the jackpot already pouring out of the machine. When you're playing back in the day when the actual slot machines put coins out, once you hit the jackpot, you can't put the coins back in. The guy who won just walks away with the coins, and that's what Elon Musk did. That's what he did. Right?
Hey, the other thing to point out too is there's a big connection with a lot of the people in Trump's immediate cabinets and positions that he's put in that were directly involved with Epstein. Directly.
Yes, there you go, Jimmy. And that's what Epic had brought up there, what he said about the databases being merged. Think about this. Palantir might have had access to all of Jeffrey's files. Maybe that's why Elon's talking about their contents, things like, who knows who has access to that now?
Exactly. You cannot let someone on your computer. If you let someone on your computer, you're in trouble, man. You better trust that person. You better, take your computer down to the computer store, go fix it. Hey, want to buy a cold wallet for your crypto? Don't do it on Amazon. Don't do it.
on Amazon.
No, I'm saying don't do it on Amazon, because if you do it on Amazon, you might buy it from a guy that gets a bunch of them, and then he puts a little thing on there for you, and then you go ahead and buy it from him on Amazon because he's got the cheapest price, and then you go ahead and get your wallet. If you're gonna buy a crypto cold wallet, you go to the website of the people that make it and buy it. Do not buy a crypto wallet on Amazon. Mom's Jimmy.
But remember, we talked about this in the show, and it's so relevant today. How the DNA evidence in the O.J. Simpson trial changed the world, right? And remember how Furman, the detective from Los Angeles, was accused of being racist, and his defense was that he was writing a book, and he was writing this book, and he had the script that was on his computer, and he was writing this book, and it was just a dialogue in his computer. He wasn't racist, but he was writing characters who were. How do we know that's not true? Is my point, right? Because they had access to his computer. Right?
Both can be true.
They both can be true. They both can be true. Exactly. I believe he's a racist, absolutely, but I also believe that he might have been telling the truth about some of that stuff. I mean, dialogue and stuff absolutely might have been a fictional character. Because he's a detective, he works it all the time.
A lot of evidence in that case, but Hunter Biden knew where to take his computers, didn't he? But he forgot he left them there. Which brings us back to Ukraine, and Ukraine's the fulcrum for all this stuff.
So I'll inquire. Why?
Well, without Ukraine, Russia ceases to be a Eurasian empire.
Yeah, so, by the Duginist perspective, the control of Ukraine was essentially the first step in regaining the Polish homeland or whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, there's some Hungarian Accords and Minsk.
You're talking over the music. We're on the break.
Sorry.
Rock and Rio, are we off of there? Apparently the call has been canceled. Okay then. Well then. I wasn't really prepared for that, but it doesn't really matter. I can handle my business. Alright, so we're on Break Revolution Radio. We're over here on YouTube, and I guess apparently what's happening is Rockaria is going to reconnect the call, and so we'll see. While he's doing that, I will get something together over here, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what I can do. Oh, yeah, you know what? I'm going to play this. No, it's okay, you guys. It's not your fault. I know. Rio couldn't hear it either. He had to call back to get it. So I figured you couldn't hear. I was trying to fix it, but I couldn't do it. All right, listen. Be back in a couple minutes here.
Baby, now I got the flow.
I'm about to pull up his wishful curtains, and I've been waiting so long. Now I gotta resurface. You know we about to toast up. All the bread and we burn it. Cause I've been feeling cool talk. I've been fucking cool talk. We're turning up.
Down on a radar, baby, don't make me wait. Body like been a long while, and I just wanna taste. Let's be alone. I put it down when I come around. We won't sleep no way, baby. I'll keep you away. These emotions. All those times I said that I love you. Feel the motion.
I can't read that chat, man. What is Epic saying in there? Are we live?
Baby, when you block my heart, baby, when you block my heart, baby, when you block my heart, give me that back. Baby, when you block my heart, baby, when you block my heart, baby, when you block my heart, give me that back. Give me that back. Give me that back.
It's Friday night, hour number 2.
She ain't waiting till she gets older. Her feet are making tracks in the winter snows. She got a rainbow that touches her shoulder. She be headed where the thunder rolls. She got that.
All right, well, here we are. Revolution Radio, Independent Broadcast Network. Mine's Jimmy. It's in the microcosm, hour number 2. Hope you joined us for hour number 1. We got a bunch of technical issues going on with this whole situation with Teams, and I've had just about enough of it now. I'm telling you right now. This may be the end tonight. And so listen, Rockario, there's a Discord that they have set up over there for Revolution Radio with Studio A on it. And in order to get in there, you got to get invited in there. I don't go on Discord. Okay? So if you want to try to go on Discord and do it from there, you'll probably make this work. But other than that, we're either going to Zoom or that's it. Because I'm not,
Okay, so somebody's got to send me the invite to the server. That's
yeah,
the
you
whole
got to
thing.
say something in the chat over there, and
Yeah.
and Comet could send you the link. Epic Journeyman, are you there?
All right, yeah, maybe I'll see about that.
Epic Journeyman, are you there? Cac,
I'm here. I'm back. Yeah.
Cac, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, your volume's super low. Maybe you can come closer to the mic. All right, no, I just want to check in. So listen, Epic Journeyman and Cac, you guys couldn't hear the music. So for some reason,
No.
there's something going on where you got to turn something on over on your end. I don't know what it is, but Rio fixed it for himself. And so if you guys can't hear him,
We heard it early on, and we heard it through the rest of the show. It's weird. Like it just stopped, like 2 minutes before the break, right?
yeah.
It just stopped. Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway, so here we are, it's hour number 2. We're going to be joining Ground Zero Plus here in about 30 minutes, and so we'll get ready for that. But why don't you guys go, where's S90? Is he not coming back?
I gotta add him.
Yeah, add S90. So listen, let's continue on with what we're going. I didn't hear anything that you guys said. Everything you were saying was being drowned out by more human than human. So if you guys want to come back in here,
White Zombie.
yeah, come back in here and finish what you were saying. And S90s, we've been joined by S90. All right, so you guys,
You guys go ahead. I have a lot to say, but
I was just talking about Ukraine and how like that's the fulcrum for the grand chessboard and Russia and all that stuff. But it's funny how it's tragic too. Not really funny. It's peculiar that the war people are still dying over there. At the same time, there's NGOs going over there for humanitarian reasons, like starting a new sport like disc golf. They're trying to do that. I mean, it's almost unreal. I mean, that's a war-torn nation, and but if you go to Kiev, it's like nothing ever happened. So it's kind of like a story of a tale of two cities, right? But anyway, I'm just perplexed by it. I reference Brzezinski because he's been CFR for decades. He's dead now, of course, but his daughter lives on. That whole brain trust lives on, and of course, we've got our fingers in pies over there Thank you, Hunter Biden. You know, he was part of the Energy Commission over there in Ukraine. So, yeah, it's part of our foreign policy. We are definitely involved. That's all I was saying.
I got something for you, Cac. Have you ever heard of Anduril?
Anduril?
Yes. Anduril. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Peter Thiel paid for company, the guy who basically developed the Oculus Rift for Facebook. He started a drone weapon defense company named after Aragorn's sword from Lord. Like, you know, it's getting ridiculous with the Lord of the Rings stuff. I'm sorry, but so they actually had a deal with Ukraine at one point. They were testing out a specific type of copter, like a quadcopter, and something called hovering munitions. So basically, they hover in spot for a while, wait for a convoy to pass underneath, and then 80 of them all fall at the exact same time from the sky, kind of like rods from God, but from 500 feet, and it's a drone, right? So that was what they were doing a while ago. Now, this drone attack that came up immediately caught my eye. I was looking at all the pictures at the shape of the drones, looking for markings, because they actually intentionally blurred out a lot of information on the released images, right? So I thought, oh, surely these are Anduril drones just with their names scrubbed off. But then I'm watching the op, and they're leaving the back of the truck one by one slowly, and you can see the guys like driving it. And then you get a view of the software, and they're using something called like OpenCopter or something, which is just a free open source software. And it doesn't strike me as the spider web or web op doesn't strike me as an Anduril op. It lacks their distinctive flair and their flashiness. They would have had, all 80 drones fly at the exact same time while singing the American anthem, all lit up red, white, and blue.
It's Palmer Luckey.
Luckey. And this doesn't have his sci-fi flair, his obsession with Ender's Game, especially.
He's absolutely the. Look, I love Palmer Luckey when he made the Oculus because I'm a VR guy, right? But I'll tell you this: he's absolutely that kid from The Incredibles, right? Who ends up being the bad guy. That's who he is, man. In a lot of ways, or was for a while. It was for a while because he sold Oculus to Facebook, to Meta, right? And they made the Quest 3 and all these other things afterwards, and the original Quest, based on his design. And he went off in this drone thing and becoming a defense contractor. Palmer Luckey did. He still walks around with his Hawaiian shirt and shorts on, and he's like trying to be like a tech bro and all that stuff. And he sounds like a cool guy when you listen to him. But the thing is, like what he did with this Anduril thing to weaponize drones. I mean, it's fantastical actually, but it's also anti-drone warfare stuff. And he just today, actually yesterday, again, another coincidence just happens to be overshadowed by the news of the day with all the Elon Trump things, partnered with Zuckerberg again, right? After Zuckerberg bought him out with Meta, he partnered with him again yesterday.
Yes.
The news was yesterday. Yeah, it may have happened before that.
It was a couple days before, yeah.
Yeah, and then, all of a sudden they're partnering to do this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Because they're all still friends, even though they act like they're not, right? And that's my concern about the Elon and Trump kayfabe. It could be kayfabe, is what I'm saying. Is one of the possibilities. Sorry, I didn't want to definitively say what it is.
Isn't it weird though? Like all the stuff's happening with so. Also, the same day yesterday was a big. The news drop was actually 2 days ago, but it made the news because starting traction yesterday when this Elon Musk Trump thing came out. What was the whole thing about? How Palantir was gathering all our data and making this one massive database on every single American, and not just every American, every person in the world, right? So all that stuff was yesterday, and then this other thing.
They want to disrupt everything, and they have to kill a few people, break a few eggs to make an omelet. Oh well.
It's South Africa taking over the world, man. It is.
His words were, are scare people, and if necessary,
we'll kill them.
Sunset them. Yeah. Okay. Well, I wasn't sure if I was going to say the words or not, but
yeah, I need to. Yeah. But
I know he did. Yeah.
Nothing.
It just depends on. It's all a frame of reference. Who is the enemy right now? Yes, it's over there, but we all know one day it will be here. I mean, the homegrowns or whatever was his comments to Bukele, and he made that interesting move today of bringing the Abrego Garcia back from that prison to face charges in America.
Trumped up charges, no pun intended.
So
Yeah,
did
totally
he
made
want
up.
to? Did he really want to sort of just prove, it's not, you're not being disappeared, you can come back? Like, is this some sort of perfunctory act to make it seem not scary to be sent to El Salvador if you oppose this administration? I don't understand, but
No, nobody does, man. Nobody does. And that's the thing. Like, it's all everything everywhere all at once, right? This whole flood the zone strategy that Steve Bannon incorporated originally, where you can't focus on anything because there's so much stuff going on, right? That was the whole idea from the get-go. And Stephen Miller's the shadow president. People thought it was Elon Musk. People thought it was Elon Musk. It's not. It's Steve Miller's running all the Nazi stuff, the Auschwitz stuff, right? The disappearing people and all that stuff. That's Stephen Miller. But then still Steve Bannon running the Cambridge Analytica stuff in the background. Absolutely, it is.
And he says, I told Trump to investigate and deport Musk. Like, the drama is relentless, and it always will be until they finally get their way with us. So we have to be super vigilant. And as interesting as it is, we still have to kind of take a step back and keep looking around, because they deleted the Palantir story just by having a fight. But real or not, I don't know.
In the meantime, they're trying to make us the nodes of their fingers in the pie. And this is where Jimmy's cognitive liberty comes in. And we really have to be, on defense of that. And instead of getting centralized, decentralized.
Well, Cac, I'm holding back until 15 minutes from now. I got a whole bunch of stuff here that goes along with what we're talking about. Mine's Jimmy Sims, the Microcosm. It's Revolution Radio, fully listener supported. Come on down and become supporters. And just so you guys keep an eye on the clock, man, be aware at 10:30, whether you hear it or not, there's going to be music playing.
I think that's a good
to make sure you mute out.
Yeah, so I think going back to what we talked about earlier, I think this is the way to parlay it into something we'll carry through, is that what if it is all a ruse, right? What if it is all about starting not just a third party, but a permanent party, a party of technocracy, a party of a technocratic world, with the AI overlords? That is exactly what's being planned. It's
a centrist
so obvious.
Party is how it will be framed.
Yeah. You can't deny it
party.
now.
And if this word because this word specifically relates to something, and Trump has used it before as well. And this is, I'm not even sure. It's basically the 7 Hebrew laws that would sort of supplant the law. A lot of people in chat will know what I'm saying. They're named after the guy who made the boat. They're named after Noah, and they're these laws that allegedly are going to overwrite.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and what about how that ties to Rosa? Sorry to interrupt, but you just inspired me. I think just let me know if you're on the same page with this. What about the laws of robotics from Isaac Asimov and how that ties into this, right? And like that's going to be the selling point, right? Like how you'll sell the robotics, you'll sell the AI overlord in the same way as it meets it's a nexus between the noetic laws and the actual laws of robotics by Isaac Asimov, not Isaac Asimov, Arthur C. Clarke.
Maybe so. It would be a foundational principle.
Isaac Asimov, yeah.
Of if they use the words common sense, if they are the common sense party, then that's a very large red flag, because that specific term, that's like communitarianism, not but communitarianism, ruled by the community, right? There's some very important people exposing that. You should go look that up if you don't know what communitarianism is.
Yeah, I mean, this was a big subject.
Communism.
Yes, communitarianism was a big subject about 8 or 9 years ago. And people were, pointing out the similarities between it. But, I mean, when you put it in the context of the future, where we've gone from there, then you could see that communitarianism was the perfect model for these 15-minute cities, S90. So I appreciate you bringing that back up, man, because you're right. People don't really remember a lot of this stuff. And, I mean, it's hard to it's almost hard to remember what happened last week with the amount of information that comes flying through here. So
and the raccoons.
Rock and Rio, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
I was just wondering, because I haven't heard you say a word in like an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, well.
Are you there? Just want to make sure.
Speaking of Rio, hey man, how about Alex when he was on that panel getting interviewed about Palantir and all the development that's going on in the UAE and Dubai and all that stuff. Any reverse speech on him?
Well,
No, I generally avoid Alex Jones because I can't stand his voice.
No, not Alex Jones. Alex Karp.
Alex Karp. Hey, S90. Remember back
if you give me a link, I can look.
Do it. Yeah, do it. Let's do it. Organic Sharp next, coming up here. So S90.
Organic Carpton.
Back to you, though, man. Listen, so back in the day, and this is before the resurgence of Alex Jones after his trial and all this, this shining night of, truth and justice. But before that, there was a bunch of ex-Palantir people that were working for Alex Jones, wasn't there?
Wasn't that Stratfor that people were saying Jones was
Yeah, that's right, Stratfor.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about them in a long time.
Me neither.
We should go see what they're up to.
Yeah, we should look them up and see what they're up to. That's all these names are
like old friends.
Yeah, all these names are coming to the forefront.
Just checking in to see how you're doing over there.
Yeah, just checking in to see what your condition is. Your condition is in. All right, listen. This technological advancement we're moving into is coming on like a train, like a freight train. Wouldn't you say, Rock and Rio?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now you say the software is installed. It's been installed in the government. So we're ready to go. I mean, how long is it before we're going to be in the hive? Seriously. How long is it going to be before the stuff we've been putting forward for the last 2 months on here about what's actually possible with your emotional development through the cognitive interference that comes from these different methods of these wireless devices, I'm not pointing to it specifically, but I think over a year ago we started talking about those earbuds and being used in inaudible frequencies to, be going through whatever you're listening to, or even when you just have them in your ear. And now all of a sudden in the last month, there's guys running around. Everybody's got an RF meter now on TikTok. And they're going around and they're putting their RF meters next to everything. And one of the things they put next to is these earbuds. And there's quite a bit of 2.4 G going through your skull. Maybe it's not enough to burn a hole through your head, but it's probably not good for you. Which puts you in a dilemma. How much do those things cost? Like $300, $250? You got them now. What are you going to do? Take them out? Most people aren't going to take them out. Even if I sat here for the next 2 years and talked about how dangerous it was, it wouldn't matter because you got to have your earphones, right? What are you going to do? You can't walk around with your phone up at your head, can you? When you're at work. You just pretend like you're not doing anything. Got your earphones on. I got long hair. I just put my earphone in. Nobody can tell. I'll be sitting there. But I don't wear earbuds at work. Go ahead.
Hey, Jimmy. I've got a clip here that I thought you might like. It's not too long. It's of Ozempic Jones, and he was basically defending Trump hiring Palantir. I don't know if Rio wants to reverse it or you wanted to listen to it, but this is how far we've fallen. We've got literally Alex Jones saying it's not really a bad thing. He's going to help them hunt down the deep state.
It is the deep state software, right?
He said as much years ago, but he seems to have forgotten.
Well, he also says FEMA camps are good now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he does.
They got to house the immigrants.
And the North American Union, the 51st Canada, 51st state. That's just the North American Union.
I remember the video that he did a long time ago of these FEMA camps, and I think they were in Texas, and they were behind this chain link fence shooting the video with these kids on play toys, playground equipment, and it didn't look pretty good. They were talking all kinds of look at these kids behind bars, on these on the swings. It's a sad sight. Now all of a sudden it's Palantir is good, I guess. I'm not saying they're bad, believe me. I don't I don't want to get a high frequency blast through my cell phone making a phone call. What happened to Jimmy? I don't know. He's just sitting over there staring at the wall.
Yeah, and I brought that up on a show with John Brisson, actually, because Elon Musk, one of his most influential pieces of science fiction is he calls the Foundation series by Isaac Asimov. It's about a guy who foresees the collapse of the galactic empire. And so he basically builds a planet that's a giant library of all the knowledge, and he will shorten the Dark Age after the fall of the empire from 10,000 years to just 1,000. And he's some kind of, he's not magical, but he has amazing foresight of human, and he invents a whole type of history that helps. Anyway, whatever. It's very silly. But in the television show of that, the emperor basically captures someone who kills one of his royal family or whatever, and the way he threatens the person is with lasers from space. He says, "I've got lasers around all these planets, and basically they're pointing at everyone who ever knew you existed, ever, and you'll be erased from history, and you'll stay here at the palace, and I'll be awful to you." And he shoots everyone, like all his family, all like teacher, the person who saw him at the gym, just everything, right? You know what I mean? And it's just, these are the kind of books that Elon Musk loves. And it just makes, then you said that, Jimmy, and it's like, I don't know, Jimmy's dead over there. Yeah, they could just do that with your cell phone and just blast you with a wave or something.
Yeah, just blast it right through your skull. Go ahead.
It's the idea of killing an idea. That's what it is, right? So I mean, that's the thing that we always talk about, like what makes freedom and freedom-loving people around the world and our ideals last is the fact that you can't kill an idea. But the idea that what S90 just described is that's what it was. It was killing an idea.
Yeah,
everybody ever knew him and everything about him.
Removing the impact of your existence forever. Yeah, that was sort of the line he used. It was just a disgusting kind of sociopathic take.
And removing and subsequently being able to remove your ability to even have the idea in the first place. You're just going to be sitting here just,
linger in your idea of knowing all the people you lost because of you and your idea. Like your punishment, the prison in your mind is knowing that you lost everything because of your idea. You don't get destroyed. Everything your idea propagated is with you, right? And you suffer. Right.
It's just something weird to be inspired by. It's something weird, and it's very sociopathic, and it all kind of reeks of that. When someone tells you what their favorite books and movies are, you can tell a lot about a person. If someone tells you what their job is, you can tell a lot about them. Oh, I work in airport security.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Why?
So that's what you.
Why do you still
why?
work there?
Yeah, exactly. There's
there might be
things
good people
that tells
honestly
about
believe in airport security, but you don't know, right? I mean, that's the thing. Like, but it's like it's why you're a policeman. I have relatives who are policemen. They're great law enforcement officers, but at the same time, it's like there's a lot of people who are police officers who want the authority, they want the ability to bully people, they want the ability to throw people around. There are, there are sociopaths in the world.
We're getting ready to join Ground Zero Plus. Listen, it's Revolution Radio, fully listener supported. Come on down, become supporters. We can be here another year. We've been here 14 years. Try to get through this next year. We got 6 months left till the end of the year. And I can't believe how fast this year has gone by, to be honest. 6 months gone. Last 3 months, like a blink of an eye. Everything looked like the pink cloud. Remember the pink cloud?
It started so slow. Now it just escalated, right?
Exactly.
Just like a boulder rolling, like a snowball rolling down the hill, gathering more snow.
I saw an article about that, Jimmy, just yesterday. It was, are the northern lights even rare anymore? It's just we're at warp speed, Jimmy.
Yeah, we are at warp speed. We're flying headlong into the future, and I don't know. It looks like the timeline may be shifting too. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up too. But I do want to get into some of this information I got here that I put together from a post that I saw earlier this week, and got me thinking. And so then this incident happened, and the tech bros are sitting there waiting, twisting their mustaches and tapping their canes on the floor, getting ready to, go in full effect, Are we alive? Yeah, we're live. Okay, cool. All right, well, I'm going to come out now, and I'm going to start dropping bombs. Not literally, though. I don't mean that in the literal sense. I mean in the informational sense. You know.
Well, don't let a disaster go to waste. That's basically their credo.
No, but I mean at this point, it's everyone's. Is this going to be like when people make end of the world predictions and the date shows up and goes on, but no one ever says anything about it again? Is this going to be like this? Is like all this stuff just going to go? Are they going to leave it alone? You know, are they going to leave it alone, or are they going to keep whipping it? Are they going to whip it good? That's the question. All right.
I think there's always a new generation to eat it up.
Yeah, yep. Well, they're going to be learning. They're going to be getting their learn on from the AI. And at the point that you're at the point, I mean, if you think Generation Z's got attitude, wait till Generation whatever they're going to be calling it, Generation AI comes out. Because they're going to be smarter than you know, after the second grade. They're going to be running circles around their mom, pa, kettle back at the house.
It will be A1, won't it? It'll be A1, like Alpha 1. It will be.
Alpha, Generation Alpha. Exactly. And then you'll have Generation Beta after that, and that's when we'll fall to the robots, because they're called betas, and it was like a self-fulfilling prophecy all along.
All right. Let's, you guys, we're going to go to this Ground Zero Plus, so stand by.
As primary functions of their government.
Send that video to me.
Yeah, it's in the chat. Yeah, it's the short. Yeah.
All right, we're going. Mute up. We're hot.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from the broken down, low rent, sleazy, double greasy pirate radio Nut Hut studios.
So I never expected Trump charging into a goblin's nest to not get some goblin vomit and slop and blood on him. I just don't want to catch him in bed with a goblin. But if he's in there rolling around hacking him up and he's got a goblin guide, you know, taking him into the cave, I'm not expecting him to not get dirty, especially up to his ankles. I don't want to see him kissing goblins, having political succubus with goblins. I don't want to see him.
We're all living in America, America is wunderbar. We're all living in America, America, America.
Oh, you bastard. Hey, it's Into the Microcosm. What are you guys up to? It's Ground Zero Plus. Unbelievable, you know? Unbelievable.
We heard about the ingratiating goblins.
Yeah. My name's Jimmy. I'm sitting here with Rock and Rio Epic Journeyman, S90, and Cock. Somehow. You missed the last hour and a half. But lucky for you, we still got an hour and a half left. And you can always hear this full show in replay on Ground Zero Plus only. Rock and Rio. Are you there?
I am here.
Excellent. Well, there goes Bay Area favorites, Metallica.
So we're back to not hearing music again.
Apparently. But it's all good. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
but
fine.
But what we do got to worry about is, hey, Ground Zero Plus. Happy to have you aboard. Clyde's been on a rail for the last 2 days. Last night, told a story about his adventures at the airport without the smart ID. And, hey, we're all living in America. Land of the free, home of the slave. Step right up with your gray jumpsuit, scan your eyeball and prove you're human, and we'll let you have a cup of gruel. But don't worry, you can pretend it's a juicy steak. You know the steak doesn't exist. Don't you, Rio?
That's right. All you want is a juicy steak.
I know. But all
or
you
some juicy brisket.
And all you get is a cup of gruel and a gray jumpsuit. And stay in your 15-minute city. Listen, if you want to go to the 15-minute city next door, you need a passport. And then you're going to go there without your passport. You're not going to get a passport without scanning your eyeball. And as soon as you...
Right. Eyeball scans in August.
In August, right. Now, S90 and CAC and Epic Journeyman. Now, you guys sent a video over Rock and Rio. You're going to reverse, maybe potentially, you're going to work on some perverse on this.
Yeah, I have to record the link first, so I'm going to disappear for a minute once these guys come back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here, but Epic disconnected for the break, and so someone has to add him again.
Oh, I see. All right, well, listen, the control of consciousness is what we've kind of been talking about for the last month or two. And we have been stuck into we've been trapped into the rut of AI just because there's everything that's going on in conjunction with the research we've done and the research we've been doing and the things that we're finding out as a result of going down these different avenues has brought to light a really serious control system. And now we're being openly sold on the idea that it's good. Like if you don't have anything to hide, then you shouldn't have to worry about anything. Except for you don't know when the moment is going to be that you cross a line that you didn't know existed. Just like the 10,000 laws that exist on the books that never get enforced. You probably break 5 of them every single day. If all of a sudden somebody wanted to enforce certain laws, the next thing you know, you're in a black site. Nobody knows where you are. Where'd Jimmy go? I don't know. He was here a minute ago. I don't know. I heard a real high pitched sound, and when the minute I opened my eyes, he was gone. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
That sounds kind of like the rapture, Jimmy. Sounds like you could fake the rapture with something like that. Just make everyone you didn't like disappear. Oh, they went to heaven.
The cognitive layer, the control of consciousness. He who controls the narrative controls the mind by embedding itself in Reddit, Condé Nast News Corp, and AP. OpenAI sources the input stream for its models. It's also the public mind. What you read, what you comment, what gets amplified or buried, all passes through a consciousness filter that shapes perception. This is the cognitive layer of control. There's 7 layers that's going on right now. I'm gonna crack the egg here. Reddit's data mine for discussions to simulate collective intelligence and to train persuasion engines. So there's persuasion engines out there running around helping to persuade you to think a certain thing or not think a certain thing. You know what I'm saying, Epic Journeyman? He's not here, right? No. All right.
No, I am here.
And
actually, I have a lot to say about this. When I was working at a defense contractor,
all right,
well,
don't. Yeah, hang on a second here. I got a lot of stuff to get through. So
okay, go ahead. But
bullet point it. Go ahead.
I will. So I worked, and one of my coworkers, his wife worked for the FBI, and he told me her job was to scan social media and look for terrorists and stuff like that way, right? And he said, you know what? I think you'll like Reddit. He is the guy who introduced me to Reddit. He whose wife was an FBI operative who monitored Reddit specifically. Isn't that
interesting? He was a guinea pig.
Yeah,
right,
isn't
so
that interesting?
Condé Nast,
that was my introduction to Reddit. Absolutely my introduction to Reddit.
Condé Nast, AP, and News Corp legacy credibility used to reinforce algorithms curation under the guise of journalism. Manufactured consent becomes real-time, generative, and self-reinforcing. Dissent is not censored. It's rerouted, neutralized, and aestheticized. The infrastructure layer, and this is what I'm getting at right here. This is the main point of what I want to talk about right now with you guys. The infrastructure layer, the data harvest cathedral. Stargate isn't a metaphor, it's a spine. The $500 billion Stargate project signals the construction of a global AI data sanctuary for human telemetry. Oracle and SoftBank financial muscle and cloud infrastructure. MGX, Microsoft's GPU intensive AI division. Real-time ingestion of biometric, behavioral, and environmental data, not just to train models, but to run them continuously against you. Surveillance becomes a ritual and an endless loop of live training on your soul print. So all this stuff that's happening with all these different people and all these different stories that are popping up, do you think the model will show exactly what the reaction is going to be to every single one of these things that are happening? These stories, these tweets, these actions of all these people that are out on the stage. The Golden Dome, exactly. Banging up against the Golden Dome with my Golden Dome. All right. You guys jump in here now. So here we go. So, there they are. The tech bros, they're sitting there. They're salivating. They're waiting for their moment of opportunity. And obviously this moment has already come and gone with the installation of the software systems at the federal government, the federal level, at every level.
Right. The one ring to rule them all. I had one thing to... I was maneuvering... CAC towards the Ukraine thing with Anduril because they announced, because think about it, a Golden Dome, great, but you've got oceans on both sides. You're going to have to defend these oceans here. Anduril announced a couple of months ago, their post was simply titled, "As Above, So Below." And it was basically an anime-style advertisement for drone swarm warfare underwater. And I can only assume that they're going to be bidding for some contracts. I assume the sea is covered by the dome, right? It would only make sense with Russian tsunami missiles on the way, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll totally apply for that.
They're going to take out. They're going to take out naval fleets too with those.
And Ukraine saying that they were going to take the fight to the ocean assets outside of the theater of war. That reminded me of Anduril having this as above, so below. We know it's the Luciferian axiom or the Crowleyan axiom, right? So I don't know. It's just really creepy. It's really creepy to have occultists in charge of weapons companies.
And it's funny because this is one of the layers, the security layer. Private AI militaries, Anduril and Palantir, are the sphere of Sauron.
It's all about Lord of the Rings. They played D&D together, right?
Predictive policing and social threat modeling. OpenAI's involvement is improving real-time responses to lethal and aerial threats, integrating large language models and kinetic response systems. An AI battlefield prophet: predict, identify, and neutralize. There you go.
Neutralize.
So is there...
You don't want to know what that means.
Well, so let me ask you this question. What do you need the CIA and the FBI and any of this other shit for now? Because literally, there's a Stasi spy in every corner. There's one in your pocket.
iPhone. Every iPhone.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's one right there.
Yep.
Well, Jimmy, this was one of my theories about the big Elon front in the room, right? The llama drama. And his want to create a new party. basically, to create a new world, you have to destroy trust in and, maybe make garbage the old world. You have to make the world garbage on purpose so people ask for change. And then when anyone, do you have any ideas? No, of course not. Then someone comes along, I've got an idea, right? And they're going to look like a hero. This is how you build a new world. And so maybe, just maybe, the Trump administration is sort of the final stand of that old world. Trump's incompetence, his foolish decisions, his terrible picks, their terrible actions. Like, look at Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and their comments about the Jeffrey file. All these, they're getting roasted every single place I go. Every single time Bongino, Patel, Bondi, all these people, they're getting roasted. Their base is falling apart. Is this the last stand of the incompetent old world before the new, as Jimmy said, the pink cloud, the purple party, whatever we want to call it, the synthesis of the Hegelian dialectic, right? Problem, world is garbage. Reaction, conspiracy theorists, outrage, riots, demands for change. Equals a new world. It's really simple. And, I think we've all been saying this for a long time, but we can really see this kind of coming into view now.
Prove you're human and scan your eyeball. Go ahead. Give $43 crypto. Go ahead. World money. World coin.
Trump coin or whatever it is.
World coin.
Isn't it
You gotta take
that,
hang on a second, Epic. Hang on a second, Cox. Go ahead, Cox.
Yeah, you got to take the Tulsi test. Are you human?
Yeah, you're going to be human. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. The Tulsi test.
we hate it here in
all
Hawaii.
that stuff.
We despise it here in Hawaii. I'm just telling you that. Like Tulsi Gabbard is like the most turncoat hated person in Hawaii. Honest to God. Like
she doesn't embody the aloha spirit.
No.
Not at all. And it's because she's so objective based, right? It's like she's a sellout, right? Like the one thing that I'm sure it's with everybody anywhere, but especially in Hawaii, people really hate sellouts, man. That's the thing,
Well, you've been sold out down the river already by this stuff that's going on right here. Because this stuff's unacceptable that's going on, and people should be, I mean, at this point, really, honestly, it's really absolutely too late. Because once this is installed, that's it. You're not getting it out. It's like when you build covert agencies that have the ability to generate funds, like, the company, for example. How would you ever, if you decided all of a sudden that you wanted to get rid of the CIA and the FBI and the NSA and, DOD and all that, how could you possibly ever get rid of that? You can never, ever get rid of that because it's so far entrenched and it's been built. The infrastructure and the network of that has been built over such a long period of time that there's no way you could eradicate it. It's exactly the same thing with this AI shit. Go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah, the infrastructure. And, once we become the infrastructure, which we are, unknowingly, unwittingly, unless we wake up, it's just going to keep happening. And the only way you could get rid of it is to change the brand, go from private. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Incotel is all the black budget enterprises.
Listen to me. It's like the same thing. It's like when somebody says they swore an oath in a secret society and they were given the knowledge of the universe. And they were sworn to an oath to never reveal that to anyone, and then they walk out and reveal it. It's not something that goes on, man. That's what the whole means.
Right. That didn't happen.
The thing is that you're never gonna. How would you ever get rid of somebody that knows everything about you? In other words, if there's lettered agencies that have all the secrets and they know everything about everybody, so on and so forth. How would you ever get rid of that guy? Because the minute he's not on your payroll, he's going to be on somebody else's payroll. Now he's your biggest enemy. So there's no way you could get rid of that guy. Now this is a physical representation of what we're talking about. This is old school, like I said earlier, with teachers. You're going to say, your kids are going to say, I used to have a teacher when I was a kid. You're going to tell their kids are going to say, well, what was it like to have an actual person standing in the room? It's going to be the same thing with this, because once this is once AI is in certain places, it's never going to go away. It's never going to get out. You'll never get it out. Just like the CIA, you'll never get rid of it because it's everywhere. And it's the same thing with the AI. It's going to be everywhere. You won't be able to get rid of it. And there won't be anybody able to deny it either. Go ahead. You won't be able to fight it. How can you fight it?
CAC gave you the answer unwittingly and unknowingly by accident in his answer when he said that we are the nodes unwittingly and unknowingly. That is how you get rid of it. You turn public sentiment against it. And that's what I've been saying with the Hegelian, right? They turn public sentiment against the FBI, against types of government or governmental parties or things that form what we know as the old world order, the way things have been until this new world order is installed, right? You have to reduce trust in it. And that's why I think that conspiracy theory was contrived to start that, to start the crumbling of trust in the old way we've done things, so we'll accept this new way of doing things. And we are the nodes.
Controlled opposition, of course.
We are the nodes that will tear down by removing our consent and our faith in the way we do things.
But as you're saying, if and in fact we are nodes on the network, and each of us has our own individual IP address. But just as we are nodes on the network, there is a network administrator. And any one of you nodes that wants to group up and get together over there, I can easily dispose of you right now. I can just go with my mouse and I'll shut off that whole area of the network. And I'll isolate your ass over there away from everybody else. And no one will see anything. You'll think they're seeing your post, but they're not going to see shit. I'll make you invisible in 30 seconds flat. You know what I mean?
And that's essentially equivalent to the story that Elon loved about the space lasers, or whatever, your story about being blasted by your cell phone. It's essentially the same thing. You're just being unpersoned in essentially a different realm, but arguably the more important of the two if you want to affect world change.
Well, you could easily die on the vine. You know, hey, when it started out, it looked great, but in the end, it's just a dried husk laying there. You know what I mean? Because you don't have a footprint anymore. In other words, you can be just easily eliminated out of the conversation.
And surely they can insert you into a dead internet bubble where it's simulated that you are connected.
Exactly. That's a very interesting concept that you just put together. Now, did you just coin that term?
I guess so.
That dead internet bubble is a really interesting concept, because that is potentially possible. Because we've talked for years and years on this show about the filter bubbles that we all live in. You know, it's like if you scroll for doom, everything you see in your searches you're going to see doom stuff. You know, on your home pages or whatever. So it's just
Well, it's also about the dying internet, right? Like how the internet is shrinking. You know, like it used to be to have 1,300,000 answers, whatever you search for example. Now it's 22.
Yeah,
What's that all about?
Exactly. The dead internet theory already existed, but that was the idea that the whole internet was like 99% dead links. But what I'm saying is that they can put you into almost like installing you in a matrix pod,
right?
But
you're
it's
in
your
a LARP.
internet personality,
right?
You're filtered to a filter bubble.
You are in a LARP with everybody else in your little bubble. You have no idea. You see each other. You're in the chat. How many? I'm not talking about this chat or the chat over here, but I'm saying in general across the internet. How many people in chats are even people? How many people are even on channels or even channels? You at this point, there's anything in
no one knows.
No one knows. There's no way to know.
I'm going to propose something that people are going to hate me for. Discord. Discord is all about that. Discord is all about partitioning people into their filter bubbles and silencing them.
Exactly.
They'll be in their filter bubble. They'll be talking to each other, and eventually they become irrelevant because they're not talking to anybody else. That is the entire purpose of Discord.
The secondary purpose, it accelerates the evolution of that niche culture as well. This is one of the reasons why I think the internet itself is a mistake, because and I'm going to be a bit crass and I apologize, but it used to be in like the 11th century, there was only one person who fancied goats in the village, and if they were caught, they were chased out of town if they were lucky. Now there's a Discord where they can all join, and like I said, their culture evolves at an accelerated rate because there is no outside judgment with which to be shamed.
This is
they're partitioned. Right? They're partitioned.
The mechanics of everything that's been done up until this point, with boots on the ground and people and agents and psychological operations, all that has been mechanized into this AI system. So it can create a flypaper echo chamber. Okay? Set up a flypaper operation where everybody comes over there, lands, and they get stuck. And they get stuck in this, like, the dead internet bubble, like S90 just said. And you have no idea, and everything else. Meanwhile, the world's going, back at the branch, everything's going over here wholly different. The whole concept of everything is it's completely different than what you think because you're in that filter bubble.
Isn't the irony here that you could be filtered out of everything else? In other words, when you're partitioned in that filter bubble, I use the word partition specifically, that now you don't have access to other things. Like you're filtered, like in their chat or whatever. Exactly. You're filtered by their virus protection or whatever to keep you out.
Or they just say they got a comer or whatever. It's like some dude in the chat's talking about the firearms that he has, trying to get everybody else in the chat to talk about their firearms, and then you see which guy it is, and so on and so forth. Man, I mean, don't be stupid. I mean, it's like I say, it's a flypaper operation, and it's automated at this point. You don't have to do anything. That's the thing. You don't have to do anything. All you got to do is just turn it on. It's like you say, hey, that S90's over there getting smart. I mean, in the microcosm.
Damn smart people.
Over there, maybe I'll turn you off over there.
Bubble them.
Don't worry, man. No, we're not going to turn you off. We're happy you're here, S90. So, listen, Rock and Rio, I still have not heard you chime in. You've been sitting over there. I'm waiting for you to drop the punk riff, like I said last week.
He's breaking out the lab coat, man. He's breaking out the lab coat.
No, when we did the strategic personality duplication discussion, and Rio was the hammer. Rio, bust out the hammer, homie. We're number 10 on TalkStream Live. Huh?
Did you say to bust out the hammer?
Yeah, bust out the hammer. Have you been over there reverse speeching?
I am over here reverse speeching.
That's what I thought. All right, listen. Ground Zero Plus. Coming up at the top of the hour. Stick around. Rio's over there with the lab coat on. He's reversing some of this here.
Yeah.
Now, what is this you're reversing specifically?
It's the thing that he put in the chat earlier.
Yeah, but the audience doesn't know what that is.
It's what is this here? Hold on.
All right.
It's World Economic Forum and Alex Karp.
Alex Karp.
Yes.
All right, here we go. All right, yeah, Palantir.
Yeah.
All right, CEO. And we'll just got to say, we have a disclaimer.
If you're not keeping score at home.
We have a disclaimer. We're just saying Palantir, we're just having a discussion. We're not throwing any hate. We're not about hate. We're just about discussion, aren't we? We don't tell people.
This is not financial advice.
Yeah, we're not telling people what to think. I mean, obviously, people think for themselves. And that's what we like around here at Ground Zero Plus, people that think for themselves. So think for yourself and come on over here and become a supporter of what we got going on over here. It's great stuff. Of course, Ground Zero, and then plus all the other great shows over here. And there's lots of them.
Amen.
Music time. Friday night is Ground Zero Plus. It's top of the hour. Yeah, we're talking about the technocratic takeover of the United States, subsequently the world.
As the rain began to fall,
Land of the free, home of the slave. I don't know. It almost feels like it's time. Rio, does it almost feel like it's time to eject? Eject. Oh, Rio's not even here. Oh, that's what happened. I forgot. Sorry about that. Yeah. So we're on Teams, and we get cut off every 45 minutes. So Rio has to reconnect and call everybody back, and that's probably what he's doing now. Right on, we're number 6 on TalkStream Live. Listen to the microcosm. It's Ground Zero Plus. Here, let me go back to my notes since these guys aren't here. So, here we go. So, from H.G. Wells' World Brain to Brzezinski's Technocratic Age, we're now living inside the final schema. A machine-mediated post-anonymous reality. So we are stepping into the future faster than you can shake a stick at it. And we've been talking about that for the last couple hours, I think. But we did touch briefly on the situation that's going on for us now, especially with this with the advent of what we were speaking of a little bit earlier. Let me go back here on my notes because, yeah, the embedding of itself in Reddit, Condé Nast, News Corp, and AP. OpenAI secures the input stream for its models. It's also the public mind, what you read, what you comment, what gets amplified or buried all passes through the consciousness filter. So here comes Rio. Hold on a second. So, like I was saying, the consciousness filter. So let's roll back here. Now, here's the interface layer for behavioral entrapment. Apple, Microsoft, iOS, Siri, and Office. OpenAI isn't just integrated, it's embedded in muscle memory. Siri and ChatGPT, natural language as the new command line. Office and Copilot, productivity is hijacked for telemetry. iOS systems level integration, invisible background processes become co-authors of your every task. Co-authors of your every task. There's someone sitting over your shoulder every single minute of every single day, rock and real. This is like, when they were sitting in those dimly lit rooms, swilling vodka and passing out nylon stockings to the ladies, you think they were dreaming of a day when the Stasi was dreaming of a day when things would be just like this? You know, hey Rio, someday, you know, we won't have to do anything. We'll just be here and we'll be able to sit in front of these screens and we'll be able to just type up anybody's unique IP address and see their heartbeat, watch their gait, look at them through cameras, facially recognize them, listen to them every minute of every single day, Rio.
That's right.
Someday. Well, didn't they hire a guy that used to be ex-Stasi for the, didn't they bring some people? Is S9 here?
No, he won't pick up. So
He's not there. All right. Didn't they bring some people over here from East Germany? Some contractors or something? I seem to remember some ex-Stasi people being brought in. Maybe.
Well, there's a ton of them. There's a ton of them that came over. I mean, not just Operation Paperclip, but a bunch of people came over from the old Soviet Union. And it's defectors. A bunch of people brought over in programs like that.
Yeah, but even after that, after Bush Jr.
Yeah, we're talking late 90s. Yeah, when the Soviet Union collapsed. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's, why is there homeland? You know what I mean? Homeland security. No,
the whole thing.
Security.
Here comes homeland security.
Whole thing's evil and diabolical, man. The Patriot Act was, fended off for years before they finally did it after 9/11, right?
Yeah, well, Biden was
Biden
was the architect of the Patriot Act in the first place when the Oklahoma City bombing happened. He was the guy trying to ram that shit through. But at that time, the public still had an interest in the generation that's petering out right now. They used to be sitting up watching the news, getting pissed off and calling their senators and shit. So, I mean, they see something on the news, they go after it. And so these people on the news, I mean, at that point, it wasn't like it is now. Maybe they accidentally said what was going to be in this bill. But for whatever reason, the public reacted to it and it didn't go through. Until 9/11.
Yeah, was it North Dakota or South Dakota senator? I'm trying to remember his name right now. I'm sure somebody knows. He was from Canada. That fended that off year after year after year because he was a senior position in the Senate, right? When they're trying to pass it before 9/11. And after 9/11, it just got slammed through and everything about it. I mean, they said at the time that it was a blueprint for police state, like the Stasi.
Yeah,
like
and the NDAA, that thing too.
Yeah.
Sam Altman's WorldCoin project, the World Network, is the final nail in the coffin of anonymity as a human right. Biometric passports under the pretense of UBI. Orb scans equal soul print registration. Decentralization is used as camouflage, but the validator is centralized. You don't get paid unless you're scanned. Biometric ID. Existential validation. You're either on the network or you're a nobody. You gonna want to be a nobody? Anybody want to be a nobody? No. Everybody wants to be a somebody, obviously. I saw I don't know where I heard the story, but somebody was saying they saw, I know where it was. I was listening to the Austin newscast, and he was talking about he was at a dinner and he was in Greece and they were by the Parthenon at some restaurant, and he said they watched some lady take 100 selfies of herself on there. So everybody wants to be somebody, don't they? You don't want to be a nobody, do you? No. You got to. Here comes the eyeball scanner. Step up and scan the eyeball and get your
Jimmy,
crypto. Go ahead.
Thanks for having me back. Sorry, I'm still figuring out Teams. You don't want to be poor either, do you? Because I noticed you just said universal basic income, Jimmy.
Yes.
And that feels a bit basic to me. Did you know that Elon has his own idea? It's called universal high income, UHI. And basically his theory is that AI production and design and efficiency will lead to the ability to provide everyone with a high sort of income. So it's almost as if he's offering you more money to join him in a way. He's still ideological.
Why not?
Like it's still just you don't want to be basic or
you don't
poor
want to be
either,
basic.
do you, Jimmy?
No.
So maybe universal high income. Maybe Elon Musk is John Galt at this point. Who knows how this goes?
Well, let's just say this. I mean, nobody wants to be a nobody, do they? Everybody wants to be somebody. I mean, just put on your new glasses there. You know, the new Ray-Bans. Get those bad boys on. You can be anybody you want at that point. Matter of fact, if Cac's wearing them, he can see me and think I'm Abraham Lincoln.
And And that's the thing, Jimmy. It's not necessarily, it's also that you can see who everybody else is too with the smart lenses, right?
Exactly.
You can identify everyone else. You could see the famous person. They can't hide from you. Neither can the person with a criminal record.
No.
And you could theoretically, like an episode of Black Mirror, just block someone completely from the digital display that you don't like. Oh, that person's hideous. I'm going to delete them.
Yeah, just take them out.
Like
just erase them.
some sort of wildly discriminatory society.
It's like in the
where it's not even overt anymore.
It's like in the Bronx Tale when they're rolling some craps and there's a dude at the end of the line, and they make him put a towel over his head. They don't want to look at his face, man. You just wipe people out. You just like, you only see the people. You know what, man? Maybe in the future, you'll only see the people that you want to see. Everybody else will be out.
Well, exactly.
Digital paper bagging. Digital paper bagging. I'm coining that one, too. I'm taking that one. There you go.
Digital paper bagging. Exactly. So, like, man, listen, if your personal credit score isn't up high enough, my glasses won't even see your ass. It's like that. You don't exist. And the thing is, like, say it's a dating scene. Say it's a dating scene, and say some female person or a male has a certain criteria. In other words, they want their significant other to make a certain amount of money and over. Okay? And so when they go out to the club or whatever, and they got their glasses on, they don't see anybody in the crowd unless they have they make over that a certain amount of money.
They meet the filter, yeah.
But but the thing is
it's got to be 750 or better, yeah.
It's not that you don't see the people. It's just that the people that you're interested in have some sort of a highlight or something. Go ahead.
Well, no, everybody else is static. They're just static forms. So
they're like a shadow or something.
Yeah,
so
there
you
go.
don't bump into people.
Static.
Like for safety purpose, like literally, you have to be able to see their outline, but you don't have to see the rest of them. You don't have to see their details, and that's kind of
we'll call the
underclass
or swipe right or whatever.
Yeah. What we're talking about right now is definitely going to happen. You can count on it.
100%.
I'll tell you right now.
Bet your Ray-Bans on it.
If you're not careful right now, ladies and gentlemen out there in the public, you're unawares that people are wearing these glasses in your presence. You don't even know it. But somehow they're wearing these glasses. I mean, for example, say you're at a club or whatever, some dude comes up to you. He already scanned your facial recognition, and then he got your social media shit. And he knows you play tennis or whatever. Now he comes over there. He goes, "Oh, yeah, my arm's sore. I was playing some tennis today." You know what I mean? Striking up a conversation. He knows all this shit about you. All of a sudden, you got everything in the world in common with somebody. How about this?
You don't have a drink, and he gets your iPhone login or whatever, and steals your bank account. Yeah. Right.
How about this? The AI knows your ass so well. Okay, that it could literally match you up with somebody else just like you. That would be a perfect match for every single thing about you. So like where you're weak, your partner would be strong. So on and so forth. What about that? You know that's coming. You know that's coming, right?
Yeah.
You know that's coming.
Well, of course it's coming. The eyeball thing, I know I mentioned it before, but I can't stop thinking about it. It's like that 1970s horror movie, this niche movie called Phantasm, where the orb flies around, chasing everybody around, right? In our case, just trying to scan our eyeball, but the movie is trying to, hit them in the back of the head or whatever. But still, what is that? Like it was an image, a powerful image that embedded itself in the psyche of people, at that age, that particular time, exactly for this time. Right, like it's like a pre-planned thing. I can't help but think that it is, like to not just have foreboding for it, but also accept it that like this is always the plan, right? Because that's kind of what it is. Programming, right? It's coming for you. It is coming for you, right? It is.
It's coming to get you, Barbara.
You can either get with the program, or and be okay, or get the hole drilled in your head, I guess.
There ain't no hole drilling, man. The hole drilling thing is just a whole ruse, man. It's like, look at my hand over here. while
Right.
I'm already controlling your mind over there.
Right.
I can, man, listen, if I was a sinister, villain, I'm telling you right now, I could blast a signal somewhere that would make people just cover their ears and fall down on their knees. There's invisible, man. There's no law against it. By the time you figure out where it is, the guy that was doing it's long gone. He just flicked the switch and take off. So, I mean, if everything I talk about on here about the technology that's available, militarily, I mean, why wouldn't what's to stop some regular person from doing the same thing? There's no law against it, is there? Is there a law against you making something? I don't think so. No law against it.
Officer, I just made this orb with a spike on it following people around. There's no law against that, is there?
No, there isn't, right?
That's basically it.
There's
right?
nothing.
Yeah.
There is nothing on any document that's ever been written that has anything to do with the kind of future that we're moving into, and without actual laws and rules and someone governing over it, it's just launched out into the wild without anybody fucking looking at it. And now, unfortunately go ahead. Just let me say, unfortunately for everybody, the AI is now out on the internet. So, here we are. So go ahead.
Two things, real quick. First of all, Blade Runner kind of envisioned a scenario where the new one with Ryan Gosling, not the old one with Harrison Ford, where there was an offhand comment in one scene where they're going through old digital records from before the EMP or something, and they were talking about before the privacy laws and all the so this has all been gamed out by the I like to think of it as there's Malthusian pessimists like the World Economic Forum who think there are too many people, we got to depopulate and whatnot. But there's also opposed, like one of the people who created the World Economic Forum with Kissinger was a guy called Herman Kahn. And Herman Kahn was literally one of the people who sat down with Kissinger and created it and gave power of this organization to Klaus. And then he later basically had a change of heart about this Malthusian negativity, this pessimism, and he joined an organization called the World Future Society. And this was Gene Roddenberry was there, Stanley Kubrick was there, Leonard Nimoy, Isaac Asimov, Arthur C. Clarke, all of the Heinlein, all of them were there. And this was, their party was based on optimism. They were the techno-optimists. And that's who these people like Yarvin and Altman and Musk, that's where these people came from. These are not what we consider, everyone runs around screaming about the World Economic Forum. Yes, they are bad, but there's an opposing ideology of techno-optimism to their Malthusian negativity. Basically, they're saying technology can solve the problems that Malthusian thought presents. And so that's what we're seeing in this, is this the takeover of techno-optimism, essentially, of the public mindset. And so when the AI, quote unquote, succeeds at things, it furthers this agenda.
It does.
Right?
Listen,
It's transhumanism.
yeah, the economic, listen to me, the economic layer, biometric dependency grid. Currency is no longer earned, it's assigned. Okay, so the world network's goal of 1 billion users means the birth of a parallel economy. It isn't crypto freedom, it's biometrically enforced conditional liquidity. Your participation in the economy is programmable, trackable, and revocable. UBI becomes UBC, Universal Biometric Compliance. It's into the microcosm. We're playing some music, boys. Prove you're human, good citizen.
You took your lucky break and broke it in two. Now what can be done for you? You broke it in two. Too many people.
There he goes. Too many people. Rock and Rio. Narda.
I am.
All right, man. Are you ready to come to the table, or you need some more time?
Well, I got a couple things here that kind of go right in line with that little clip.
All right. Well, excelente. So here's the thing. Can you throw it to us? No, I'm afraid when you play it, we're not going to hear it.
You should be able to hear it.
Okay, so we never tried this since the team's changeover.
Do you want me to play the clip forward?
Play the clip forward so I can see if we can even hear it, first of all.
Okay.
And if not, you're going to have to give me the clip and let me play it.
All right.
I'm sorry about this, everybody. We'll get this. This is the last week these problems are going to happen with this thing. I'm sick of this.
Yeah. I'm actually been chatting with Microsoft about getting this straightened out. I got a tech in the chat box, but
all right,
we're working on it.
All right. So, anyways, go ahead and throw me the video. Throw me the video or the audio of this WEF situation that we're running reverse speech on.
Well, I could just play it from here.
That's what I mean. Go ahead, hit it. Let me hear it.
Here we go.
Of course it's a problem, but the primary problem is not disinformation, which I'm against and I would help fight. But the primary problem is that the people listen to it because primary functions of their government aren't working, and they're asking themselves, why doesn't it work? And so you have to fix those underlying functions. Pretending that is the primary risk to democracy is totally a backfire move. Of course it's a risk. Of course it should be dealt with. Of course security services should fight this. Foreign influence into a country is illegal, unethical, and should be fought. And I would be happy to help out fighting that. But the primary risk to a society is not fake information. It's a society that's willing to believe the fake information because they're wondering, why doesn't my school work? Why doesn't my border work? Why have I been taught things in school that don't work? Why do I know nothing about software? Why am I being told that poetry will pay my bills when in fact it's not even good poetry? It's like that is the primary risk to a society.
All right, there you go.
That is the primary risk to society.
Well, I'd argue Alex Karp and his business is a risk to society. If society is us, the peasants, the underclass.
I'm saying if I'm selling you a vacuum cleaner, I throw a dirt clod on the rug and I come in with my vacuum cleaner and suck it right up, and my vacuum cleaner costs $500, you're probably going to still buy it because look at that job I just did. So what he just said right there is exactly, he's playing to the tune of what's actually going on in society right now, right? Mm-hmm. You can't make a living writing poetry, man. Can you? No, you can't. And guess what? That's his dirt clod. Now he just threw that, and guess what? Because now he's going to come in there and he's going to help you solve all those problems that he just laid out there. He's going to solve them all. Guess how? Right, he's got software for it. And guess what? Maybe it's already installed in the government. Rockarillo.
It's interesting because first thing I have here, the first clip says, people should know I defend all the elites.
Wow.
Also, yeah. And it's clear. It's pretty clear. I got to slow it down a little bit, but it should
be fought.
Okay, here we go.
They're coming for you, Barbara. Hey, check it out. We're number.
What?
I was just gonna say we're number 7 on Ground Zero Plus, and we're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on Revolution Radio. All right, there. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Thanks everybody over there for being over there. TalkStream Live. Go ahead, Rock and Roll. Let's start again. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So it says people should know I defend all the elites.
People should know I defend all the elites.
I just want to point out, for the longest time, 20 years of looking into this stuff, I thought this was just default thought this was the most ridiculous of all the conspiracies. But in reality, this is probably the most real of all the things, and it even has a spiritual component.
I know.
Believe in that.
The reverse.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Keep going, real.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, then he says, "You should all fear me." All right. Here we go. You should all fear me.
Yeah. Play it. Throw it again, man.
That one again?
Yeah, throw it again. I didn't hear it.
Okay. Gotta slow it down.
You should all fear me.
You should all fear me.
We should. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. I mean, as anything, I mean, even just this conversation going on right now on the internet. I mean,
well, he also says here, there are demons to show for it. And if I can get it to play, hang on.
Of course.
Here we go.
There was demons to show.
There was demons to show.
Mm-hmm.
So, people should know I defend all the elites. You should all fear me. There was demons to show. And then the next, there is another one here. It's a little farther off. It says, the lost will be damned in hell.
Of course it should be dealt.
Oh, not that one. Hang on. Right about here. Okay. So here's the lost shall be damned in hell.
Why am I being told that?
The lost will be damned in hell. And then he says, Foster is robbing your fund. We know it.
Robbing your fund. We know it.
So
Foss?
I don't know who Earl Foss is, or if that's exactly what he says.
Is
but,
Foss, is FOS some sort of...
Yeah, well, it's free open source software. So it could be Foss is robbing all of your fun, and we know it.
Free open source
software, yeah.
Yeah.
But it sounds like he says Earl Foss. So I don't know if it sounds like he mentioned his name.
How much shit on the internet? How much stuff on the internet is built on open source?
A good amount
I'll check
of it.
that out. I'm gonna look.
What do you think? What do you think? I mean, you think maybe there's some little invisible secret thing that's in open source that nobody knows about?
Well, that's the whole point of open source, is that you can't hide anything because other people can analyze it.
Right, but then there was somebody who invented it. Somebody invented something called open source. They didn't tell you about the black hole part of it. But go ahead.
It says over 95% of top 1 million web servers run Linux, which is an open source operating system. Furthermore, a significant number of software code bases are composed of open source components, with some estimates ranging from 70 to 90%. There you go. That's nice.
That's
great.
Yeah. All right.
Well, dude, as I listened through this, there's a few names that he mentioned. I didn't get to tag them all, but one of the other names was Anita Falk. And Anita Falk apparently was an author. And she wrote some dystopian kind of books. So apparently he's not really into her either.
I just looked that up. That's revolting. Don't look that up, people.
Anita Falk?
Yeah.
No. The name, no. It's not. It's not perverse. That's her actual name.
But there is like some results that are messed up.
Well, yeah. You got to turn the safe search on, man, so you don't see the purple.
But then you don't find all the other things, man. There's certain things like results that just don't pop up anymore. It's because it's curated internet. It's a bubble.
If you want some serious vulgarity, I reversed a McDonald's commercial this week, and it's pretty crude. So,
well,
it's all okay. So,
we don't have to get into that.
You can run.
What if English is like, this is just a silly thought. What if English is just like, everyone keeps saying that John Dee was speculating that English should have been spoken backwards? What if that's sort of the intent? What if it was a language that was originally spoken
It is
in
the
its
intent.
reverse?
It is.
And
It
we're
is,
the ones speaking
yeah.
it backwards.
It is.
Yeah, Francis
Well, then.
Bacon and him and John Dee, absolutely. They made in Shakespeare. Modern English is meant to be spoken backwards. 100%.
And the thing is, AI speaks backwards right off the bat. Because Rock and Rio found some reverse speech in an AI generated song that one of our friends, Polynation, put his lyrics to. And so it cranks it out already right off the bat. So that's what I was saying earlier. This stuff is all, everything that's been learned with boots on the ground has been put onto us through these systems that we're talking about tonight. About to play this, some Tom Petty. Rock and Rio, you need some more time to put the rest of that together?
That's what I found that's clear enough.
All right.
You got a different kind of look in your eyes. Something about you that I don't recognize. These things are talked about in quiet tones. I never saw a person so all alone. Some mama's crying, some daddy's sad, and the kid goes bad.
So to the Microcosmos Ground Zero Plus, my name's Jimmy. I'm sitting here with Cock, S90, Epic Journeyman, and Rock and Rio just did the reverse perverse on the World Economic Forum, and the CEO of Palantir. Rock and Rio is the kid that went bad. All right, lay it on me, man, in one chunk.
What's that?
The whole thing, just without
So
the.
just quickly, you guys, the context of this talk, this WEF talk, he was speaking with leaders of Saudi Arabia and India and Pakistan and their future economies. So he was pretty much not just wagging the finger at all of us, but them in particular, those with the petrodollars to invest
That's what I'm
in
saying.
the future.
That's what I'm saying, Cock. It's like a fungus.
Yeah.
It's like a fungus. See, he installs it over here. He installs it over there. Installs it. Next thing you know, shakink. They flick the switch and everything's under one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Borders come down. Taxes are taken out immediately. There's no banks. There's no nothing. You don't need. What do you need a bank for anymore? You won't need it.
He's practically worshipped in Saudi Arabia too, If he was going to have a place to establish his Gulch, that would be one of his options if he ever had to run away. Steve Bannon has his way and he gets deported. Who knows what the drama will bring.
Please, man, give me a break. There's no way anybody's getting deported, man. There's no way that's going to happen. Well, people are going to get deported. It might be you. Your ID might get flagged for some reason. And, you won't be able to say anything because that's the thing. It's like 3 a.m. You're sleeping. And all of a sudden, boom, the door gets kicked in. There's a bunch of dudes flashing flashlights around, yelling at you. And they just put a bag over your head and take your ass out of the house. Take you somewhere.
There's a whole thing about that, man. That's the Blackwater guys, right? So HSI is Blackwater. HSI is Academy. It's Blackwater. It's the Eric Prince guys. So they don't show their faces, so they have IDs. They're contractors, man. I mean, that's the secret police, and people are really slow to wake up to it. I mean, more people are starting to, but dude, that's what HSI is.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. The AI went onto Fiverr by itself because it has some money, and it went over to Fiverr and hired a guy to go physically do something for him. So the AI literally made some thing in material progress in the world using human power. But in the future, it'll just be able to do it with robot power. You know what I mean? So, the same thing with this potential we're talking about right here. with it just being able to just do whatever it wants and make it happen using this contractors. What if it writes a contract to Z or whatever? What if it contracts you? What if it put a contract out on you? I mean, does the AI have to follow any laws? Who's governing the AI? Is there an AI policeman who's watching the AI, making sure it doesn't do anything that's wrong? Oh, wait a minute. It can't do anything that's wrong because there's nothing that it can. We haven't made any rules. So
Well,
I guess
there would be no evidence of its wrongdoing.
Exactly.
This is very much like the latter seasons of the new version of Westworld, who I might add that one Nathan Crowley was involved in as a show. Just I'll let people chew on that and figure that out themselves. But yeah, they had a computer that would basically control society, and it would look for outliers, people who had trouble reading, and then it would nudge them towards joining the army. Things like that, and then it would say, "Oh, look, this unit got wiped out. Oh, whoops, what a shame." Or it would in the end, it ran. In the end, and spoilers, I'm sorry, I just ruined this for people. I apologize. I will be giving another spoiler though, because I've already gone over the Rubicon here.
Prove your human.
The computer was basically how do I put this? Like I said, it was deleting people from society by maneuvering them in ways, but it was sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's basically said it predicted that this person would commit suicide in 10 years, so it never gave them any job or romantic opportunities, so they did.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't know the difference between its projections and the human potential. And I hate to use that word because the human potential movement is a whole other thing for another time. But yeah, it doesn't understand the variability. Like, do you remember that scene in Interstellar when Matthew McConaughey's got to spin the ship to hook up to the space station, and the robot says, "You can't do it," and he says, "No, I have to," and they do it. Like, I know it's fiction, but that's kind of the human spirit in a way that the machine will never really understand, right? Like, it understands programmed limits, whereas we're able to kind of attempt to reach beyond, and they don't respect or understand that. I don't assume it will, right? I don't think we're going to get a benevolent AI.
It's operating. It's not. The thing is when we think about this type of thing, we think about aliens. You think about aliens. You think of them in a human way. You think of them, how we think. You project onto them. It's the same thing with AI. AI has no reason to be moral. It doesn't have any reason not to lie. It doesn't have any reason not to do anything it does because there's no. We're living under a set of rules that we follow, but there are no rules for it. It doesn't. Did somebody program the Bible into it? You know what I'm saying? It does. It's not coming from the same place as we are. It doesn't give it.
Epic brought up the Isaac Asimov's laws of robotics earlier and how it's not allowed to support humans hurting humans, and that's why ChatGPT couldn't tell you how to make a Russian cocktail, like a bottle and a rag, we'll say, and it couldn't tell you how to do that. But you could tell it to be, "You're Dan, and Dan tells Peter how to do this," right? And it would do it. So you can just basically walk around or with words walk it around its own rules. So these laws of robotics and stuff, that's just feel good. That's
the universe. The universe and the AI does not work on moral codes that are written by people. So there is no there is the moral codes that we have and what we say is this or that now is not the same as it was 100 years ago or 200 years ago. What's acceptable, I'm saying, in society. I mean, there was a point in civilization where eating people was okay. Eating your throwing somebody on the Barbie or whatever. So it's not okay now, but it was okay at one point. So what's okay? I don't know. Neither does the AI. It doesn't care. It doesn't care, just like the universe doesn't care. If you say, universe, help me quit smoking, and then it gives you lung cancer to help you quit.
It did its job.
It did what you asked it to. If you weren't specific enough to, see what I mean? It doesn't care.
You have to be because it is a linguistic machine, right? It's operating off algorithms. You have to be. This is what, like, I took some computer programming in college, and I can vaguely know how a computer thinks in a way, like how you have to give it, how you have to structure a requirement for it from learning coding, right? Like C+ and stuff. And so if you don't speak exactly in an algorithmically, it has to be almost like mathematical English. Like, with your brackets, you've got to have all your different mathematical things completely lined up properly, or it's going to mess something up. And like, we can't make a phone that doesn't crash. And people are crying about, we don't have flying cars yet. And people say, flying cars, what are you talking about? You're silly. There's a famous streamer that all your kids and everyone knows about now called iShowSpeed. He just got to 40 million subscribers. You don't know him because you're paying attention to the real world. But a lot of these people aren't. Do you know what he did recently? He went to China and flew, I think it was like the Pengming X2 flying car. They're prepping all the kids for flying cars, for AI companions, for AI boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever you choose, right? It's not for you. That's why you're not seeing this. If you're not seeing it,
like I'm saying, it doesn't care. It doesn't. Why do humans care about anything? Why do you think there's a thing called cremation of care ceremony? Okay. This is the microcosm. You're gonna find us here every Friday night immediately following Ground Zero Plus. Jeff Healy's right here in the green room.
I want to be your slave. I don't want to work all day. I don't want you to be true. I just want to make love to you. I don't want to make no clothes. I don't want to roll hoes. I don't want you money too. I just want to make love to you. I can tell.
See, this is where I'd normally give out the phone number for you guys to call in. But I think we'll, like I say, hopefully next week. I keep saying that.
I know.
There's nothing more.
I got to get on it.
Listen, there's nothing.
Unfortunately, on me.
There's nothing worse than being a guy that says, I'm going to do something every week and then it doesn't get done. No, I'm just saying that for 3 fucking weeks now.
Yeah. Don't blame yourself, blame me.
No, I'm just saying, I mean, I got this other phone number, but the problem is that when people call, if there's someone on the call, the phone will ring and ring and ring. So I'm on Zoom. So I thought that I'd be able to post the calls, they just sit there until we took the call. And I paid some money for that, paid like $50 for that shit.
Yeah, well, I was, if I can get the thing in Teams to transfer properly,
silly me.
We should be able to get the old phone number back and merge calls and do
that'd be
normal
great.
things again.
That'd be great. All right, well, listen.
I'm working on it.
We only got about 15 minutes left. And as you can see, minutes now, what can be done in a minute used to take weeks and months and years. What you got to do is just type, and you could type anything in to this thing, and it's going to pop you out an answer like right now. I don't care what you do. Whatever you do, this tool is very useful. And so I don't see anyone, it's like a cell phone. I could sit here and talk to you until I'm blue in the face about cell phones, but you're not going to give it up. It'd be hard enough to get you to even turn the fucker off overnight. Mm-hmm. Overnight. Just overnight. So This thing's gonna.
That's where the AI companion comes in, right? Like that's the scariest thing there is. The idea that you're going to have this AI companion, because what most people think and thought before the idea of this was that our position as humans would be the actual companion, right? Like when robots take over all the labor and all that stuff, then we'll just be the human companions. People will pay for our company to tell a story, to keep people company and all that stuff. But the idea of the AI companion that knows you so well, telling you what you want to hear, taking even that away from us. Like they're talking about white collar jobs going away by 50% in the next couple of years from artificial intelligence. What about the one thing we had left, short of being a consort or something, that humans have, right?
If you're in a hang on a second. If you're in a self-driving car, and it's AI driven, and you say, "Get me to the airport as fast as possible," you'll end up at the airport in a bloody pulp because it doesn't care. It's going to do what you asked it to do. Go ahead, S90.
Oh, it's just a thought I had recently. Something that I'd noticed was that, like, what's one of the most? I think it might be the largest sector of the economy. It's entertainment. It's super chats on streams and subscriptions and all this. Everyone's becoming a streamer now, or doing a show or something, or has a channel. And I also kind of thought, like, entertainment was sort of the last kind of refuge job that humans would have. But even that, like
that's over.
About, like, AI companions, like, even that, no,
it's over.
I don't even think people don't even want to be entertained by humans if they can be entertained by an AI that's personalized.
Why would
just
you
to them.
pay millions of dollars for some actor dude when you could just create the actor dude out of the box? You own the actor dude and you own the property. You don't pay anybody anything. You're not even paying.
And he'll do anything.
I'm just saying, the OpenAI platform was going to offer AI agents at certain levels per year. So you could buy an AI agent, mid-level, helper for $60,000 a year. You pay them $60,000 a year for that guy. So in other words, if you need 500 guys like that, they'll give you 500 AI agents to work as those people would work sitting at their desk. Whatever that is.
Company, Jimmy? What was that company, Jimmy?
OpenAI.
OpenAI?
Exactly. Open source. Exactamundo. All right, listen. Tomorrow night, the Chilluminati. The Inner Sanctum. Come on back. 8 o'clock Pacific. Ground Zero Plus. I don't know where we are in TalkStream Live. I'll go over and take a look. Here. Let's take a quick music break here. We're still in the top 10. The Tubes. White Punks on Dope.
That's a Bay Area band, isn't
Another one. Right now.
It's definitely a Bay Area band. Yeah. I mean, they wrote some really controversial stuff, man. But once you get to know the performative aspect of what they did, it's not as bad. They're kind of like the Talking Heads, right? Like it was a show, like a play.
I think they're way ahead of that. Yeah, but yeah, amazing band. So the battlefield isn't land or oil; it's your dopamine receptors and confirmation biases.
It is. CAC coming in from the field, swinging heavy.
Coming in from the bullpen.
There you go.
So
man.
what do we do? How do we resist?
You got to turn it off, man. You got to turn it off.
Got to make your own currency. Yeah, you do. You have to turn it off and make your own currency. You do.
Well,
a book by Greg Olson, I think was his name. Not the tight end, but Greg, something called "And Then There Were None." Kind of outlines the whole thing. Like that's the idea from the 50s or 60s, somewhere there. And the idea is that if you separate from society long enough, you build your own economy and your own culture. It can't be overridden. The outside people can't come in and override it. And that's kind of where we have to go, is like from the inside out, kind of plan something ahead of time for the collapse of what we call our society today, and go to some kind of digital currency or whatever. You have to plan for something that will be there when that happens. So you don't have to abide by it. You don't have to join, right? I mean, you have to plan. I mean,
you don't want to be a nobody, do you? You got to be a somebody. If you want to be somebody, you're going to have to go over there and meet the eyeball scanner.
I don't want Phantasm Ball chasing me around, man. I don't want Phantasm Ball chasing me around. Yeah.
They got to install the eyeball scanner ball on the 4 quad rotor copters, and it can just fly up to you.
Dude, it's totally, the way he described it is totally out of Half-Life 2, the scanners.
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly the way he described it.
They flash the camera in your face, and then the cops come 5 minutes later to get you.
Yeah, the combine.
Well, hey, you know what? D. Hodges in the chat just said the greatest power of AI is seduction. And you know what, D. Hodges? We've put together a thing about that. And so a seductive character, and it's a book by an author called Green. And there's certain archetypes out there, and everyone that lives will gravitate towards one of these particular archetypes. So creating a seductive character for someone will create a seductive character to manipulate or get what they want from somebody else, in the bar scene or whatever. So I was to say, man, what if I took that book and threw it into the to the AI? I think it could probably create a seductive character for just about anybody, and especially since it knows exactly what archetypes would appeal to your senses. Well, we're hoping
it also has no inhibitions and no limits.
Exactly.
So that alone is just like the Discord effect, where you will be trapped in a bubble, and that quote unquote culture, but instead that culture will just be you alone in the bubble, will be accelerated by the AI. It will become like an extreme, almost parody of all of your traits, I guess.
I mean, you can subscribe to my service, and what it'll do is when you subscribe, you pay me $29.95. And once you put your earbuds in and tune into my frequency, and I'll make you feel like you're high all the time for $29.95. Just walk around. You don't have to take any drugs. You pass all the drug tests. You just feel good, even no matter what's going on around you, you won't care. Because you know what, man? You got your universal high income, and you got your eyeball scanned, and you're part of the somebodies. You're not one of those dirty nobodies over there with the dirty faces under the overpass.
You're an optimist, not a pessimist, Jimmy. The old world was full of pessimism and failure and corruption, but this new open source,
exactly,
open democracy, technate future. Oh yes, this is much better than what we had.
Now, Rock and
Not
Rio,
mentioning that somebody threw the dirt on your lawn, on your carpet on purpose, and then showed up to your door with the vacuum.
Exactly, Rock and Rio. Now, what did that reverse speech say again? Now, we were listening to the dude from Palantir, the Palantarian, the head Palantarian.
He forces his employees to call themselves hobbits, and they call the workplace the Shire. That's how deep the Lord of the Rings obsession goes with them. So when they say it's the one API to rule them all that they installed in every federal government agency, do you think they're kidding?
No, I don't. There's no coincidences. There's no accidents. There's no kidding. If you think there's something wrong and it's bad because it's a stupid government, believe me, like Jordan Maxwell used to say, the government doesn't do anything by accident.
And these people less so. These people are even more almost neurotic, right? Perfectionist, clinical, algorithmic.
They're in these places of power, right? Like Doge got all that information about the data scraping from the Social Security network, from HHS, from all that stuff, going straight to Peter Thiel. And Peter Thiel's boy is right there. JD Vance, right, is right there, right? Elon's right there. I mean,
you saw the tweet. You
thing.
saw the tweet from Elon saying he was replying to Ian Miles Chung on Twitter said, "Impeach Trump and install JD Vance," and then Elon replied, "Yes."
I know.
You saw that, right?
I know.
Because that's their boy. The whole thing. You go back to when they all were playing D&D together. I mean, it keeps bringing that up, but I mean, the whole idea of them. That's why this Lord of the Ring mythology is so prevalent. That's why all this stuff is there. That's why Elon keeps making all these games of him playing Diablo with somebody else being paid to play his level him up and all that stuff. Because to be that kind of hierarchy, to impress the people into that mythology, right? It's all about just trying to get this in place to where it'll make this technocratic future, it's techno-feudalism, where the oligarchs will control permanently.
Check this out now. When you're a high dollar person, you got a lot of money, go to a racetrack, man, you spend thousands of dollars, not even give a shit, not even care. And so when you got Peter Thiel money, you don't buy racehorses, man. You buy politicians. You invest because you don't know which horse is going to be the winner, which horse is going to come across the finish line. But you don't care because you got enough money to spread it around. And man, sometimes you hit it. Sometimes you're the Kentucky Derby winner, and I don't know, man. His horse is.
You want to own the track.
His horse is one heartbeat away from the presidency. All right, listen, we'll see you tomorrow night. My name's Jimmy. It's in the microcosm, rock and real. What did that reverse speech say?
It said, oh, wait, I got the wrong one up here. I was looking at the...
No,
it says,
the open source
people should know I defend the elites. You should all fear me. There were demons to show, and the lost will be damned in hell. And then it said, Floss is robbing your fund, and we know it.
And it's open source.
And yes, I did my own hairdo.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Pacific, Illuminati. Tell somebody.
Good night, everybody.
We'll bring the perverted McDonald's commercial tomorrow night.
Yeah, that'll be fresh. All right, here we go. We'll see you later.
All right,
Sometimes it feels like there aren't enough hours in the day.
That's very true.
I know. Well, listen.
It's amazing.
It's time for us to go, though. Yeah, but what?
It's run over an hour now.
Huh. Well,
and it hasn't hung up on us. It might just bop us off at any given moment, but...
Well, guess what? Guess who just came through the door? You won't believe it.
Your buddy the raccoon?
No. It looks like it's Zach Wild, man.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Take care.
God bless everybody.
Good night, everybody.
You say that you're damned. You say that your life isn't fair. What's right and what's wrong? You got your needs and you just don't care. On and on we drift back to where we were before. You can welcome me in. I will not walk through that door. Oh no, no. I may be blind, but I'll find my way. Oh yeah, like a lost prayer on a stormy day. Oh, stormy day.
All right. We are off everywhere. We're on YouTube, though.
Okay.
All right,
So
YouTube.
it's just you and me at the moment.
Yeah. Well, let's just say goodbye, man. It's been 3 hours, and I got to go in the house to get something to eat.
Yep.
All right. But I will call you definitely tomorrow. Thanks for being here, everybody. I thought it was a pretty good show, eh? So
Yeah,
I hope
definitely
everybody had a good time. All right. You ready to blow?
I am ready to get on out.
All right. Yeah, I'll call you tomorrow, man.
All right.
All right. See you guys later.
Good night.